The
Elitist
Pizza.
podcast.
Welcome to the Elitist Pizza Podcast. Episode number something. Currently waiting on the assistant here, Don Aquarius Washington III. Right now, we're just gonna chill out with Wyatt and all y'all. Oh, you listen to that? Now, right now, we're gonna let's see. Let's pull up the Zoom. Okay, he's been waiting. He's been waiting on me. All right, now it says he's joining. I guess he probably hears me too, because he's talked to him through the Discord there. All right. Are you here? Do you hear me? Connected audio. All right, looks like you're here.
I don't like how you did that right there.
All right, what? How I did what?
Made it seem as though it was my fault, you know? That's kind of waiting.
Yep, that's true. Yep, well, I pulled it up. Well, it's all good. All right, we're here now. That's what's important.
It is usually my fault, though, so I
Yeah.
will preface this by saying that
Yeah,
it is
so-
9 times out of 10 it's my fault. This is the rare one time I was on time today. I think I'm on my A game today.
I was
so
just
something's
like-
gonna have to go wrong. A meteor's about to strike my house or something.
Yeah, I was just, I was just like, yep. Well, I'll just tell him to call me, and we'll be ready when we're ready.
I'm a new man. You understand me? I'm a new man.
New man.
I'm here to be better.
We're here.
Do better.
Hey, hey, this time, you get slightly closer to on time every time. Eventually, be on
Yep.
time every time.
Next time, hopefully next time, I'll remember that my computer's super slow and I'll actually be on time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would have been on time, but it takes forever to start up. Well, it took like 2 or 3 minutes.
Dude, when I got this new computer, I was like, I started it up, and it was just, it actually worked. Like, it just started up, and that was cool. I like that, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I know. I wonder what that feels like.
I was like, wow, it started up, because I started it up, and I started to do other things, because when you spend so much time with a bad computer, you just get used to it, and you add it to your routine. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna do something else, because I know this is gonna take like 5 minutes to start up. I'll pick up my room while it's booting up, and I would start to clean up my room, and it was like, and then it was all booted up, and I'm like, oh wow, well this is amazing, and yeah, that's how it happened.
Nice. I gotta get a new computer myself.
Yeah, that's why you should donate. Link in the description, guys.
Yeah.
So you want to see Kawan's, Don Aquarius.
At this point, they
beautiful
already
face.
know our real names.
Yeah.
At this point,
yeah.
anybody who's watching at this point already knows.
Well, I'm not trying to hide them, but I want it to be like the focus. Like, I'm thinking, I'm kind of modeling. I have a few figures in mind I'm trying to model this off of. And so, like, I'm thinking, like, Destiny. Like, everybody knows that Destiny is really Stephen Bonnell. But you call him Destiny. So it's like, well, not everybody knows this. But, like, most people do. Well, like, the people who are really into him. And I don't want to, like, be, like, hiding my identity and, like, having to go through all that. But I also don't want it to be, like, everybody knows me as my real name. So it's like, I don't have to go my way to hide it.
Right.
But everybody who knows me doesn't know my real name. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm at.
Okay, I get you. I'm not seeing anything on the stream. It's probably my computer though. It's probably on my end, but
okay. Well, how about I'll try and I'll screen share with you through Zoom, and we'll see how that goes.
Wee. Did you hear about Jared Leto?
No. What's going on with Jared Leto?
He's returning. He's returning as the Joker in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, and he's got a whole new look. So I'm pretty excited for that. I'm actually excited. They're giving my guy another chance. I always feel as though he deserved another chance. Um,
I
just
feel
because in
like,
the
yeah,
Suicide Squad movie, I mean, people say he was bad, but I feel like people are only yeah, that's it right there. Those pictures right there.
I could
Yep.
see that working.
I feel like people are only saying that. I mean, it's fair that they're saying he's bad and everything, right? But I feel like he wasn't in the movie enough for me to really form an opinion. He was
Yeah,
all right, you know.
yeah.
I
You
mean, he
see,
was just kind of just there.
well, I used to be of the first position, right? And then you kind of run me over. Like he didn't really get a chance, and like a lot of the criticisms that I've seen for it that I used to kind of have were like of his the promotional material, like the trailer and stuff.
Right.
And but you can't really fault Jared Leto for the
Well,
trailer, you know?
that's WB's fault. They do that.
Yeah.
They've been doing that with all their movies. For some reason, they cut out a bunch of scenes that would make sense in the content. I mean, obviously, they got to cut some stuff out, but if you're advertising the Joker as a big part of the movie, he, he's kind of got to be in the movie for that to work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we're the crazy ones,
He's
but
kind of gotta
if
be
I
in the
put somebody in my
movie. Yeah.
trailer, he's
Yeah.
gonna be in the movie. But I'm glad
Exactly.
that he's getting another chance. I like his new look. I mean it's fine. I feel like he's probably just gonna play like a more classical
He
version
looks
of the Joker.
crazier.
He does. He does. I will say I do agree with people as far as his looks go in the Suicide Squad movie. I wasn't a fan. I mean he looked cool, but I
Yeah.
wasn't a big fan of it. But I like this new look. I like
Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of this look. I think maybe they could have done something with it, but this certainly is better.
yeah. I did like how they had some iconic like suits that the Joker wore in the Suicide Squad one, but his like the tattoo on his forehead and just all the tattoos in general and the grill thing was kind of weird. Like if he wasn't the Joker, he'd probably be really cool to me. But
Okay, I could see that. If they were just like, this is some other character.
this is crazy, man.
This is crazy. This
This
is
is the
not Joker.
Jester.
Yeah, this is the gesture. I mean, because then it's like, at least you're not crapping on the Joker, right? At least you're not like
Right,
messing with the Joker cool character or that's already built up, right? This is something else.
right. I kind of like their little explanation for his little grills or whatever,
What was the
but
explanation?
I believe it was that like Batman just beat the crap out of him and like literally knocked his teeth out.
Because
So
that
he had
makes
to like do
sense.
something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this Batman in this universe is a lot
Yeah.
more brutal.
But why
I'm
hasn't
excited for the. Go ahead.
why hasn't this Batman though already killed him? Because he's already just murdering him, right? Because he's like
Well,
murdered
I
everybody.
think we're supposed to think that he's not killing people, but
Yeah.
we obviously clearly see him like literally murdering these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he would have reached his breaking point and just snapped his neck and be like, you know what? I'm not dealing with you today. I'm just gonna kill you.
Or he would have just like ran the Batmobile into like the Bat tank into his uh, nightclub or whatever, and jumped out of it, and then like, well, I didn't kill him, right? That'd be the Batmobile did.
Right. But I'm excited for this Snyder cut in general. I know that they're gonna do a lot of interesting things with Justice League.
I don't
Um,
I don't feel comfortable paying for it because I feel like
oh,
we shouldn't get a bad movie, and then, oh yeah, guys, we cut the movie to buy it again. We shouldn't be doing that. That shouldn't be a thing.
well, I mean, if you have HBO Max, you just stream it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, yeah.
No, they're
If I
just
end
doing
up
it on
having,
HBO Max. Like,
oh,
if you
okay.
have HBO Max, just stream it on there. They're not gonna make you. I'm pretty sure it's not getting a theater release.
Oh yeah, theater
Because
release would be way
one,
too
who's
far.
gonna
Yeah.
sit in the theaters for? I think it's supposed to be 4 hours. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna sit there for 4 hours and watch a movie.
Take
It could be
what?
the best movie of all time. I'm not gonna
Really?
sit in the theaters unless that's like the Alamo Theater that we have in over here. That theater rocks.
In an undisclosed
But
location. Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I do think it's interesting though, because Zack Snyder, he doesn't really have a firm grasp on like Batman or Superman,
Hmm.
but he makes pretty good. He's made pretty good movies before. 300 was really good.
Yeah.
Um, Watchmen was really good. Even Batman v Superman,
You know what? Let me.
the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman, the Director's Edition, was pretty good too. So, I mean, I feel like this will be all right.
I think
Um,
300 is entertaining. I don't know if I'd say it's good.
I think I put good, entertaining very close. Like,
Okay.
I mean, like good for me is like a six. Like if you're above a five, it's a good movie. Like
Okay, I would
it's
say 300 is definitely at least a 6. So
yeah,
it's
I
better
would
than
say
average, yeah.
yeah. Better than average is good for me, but like great is like like great is like an eight, nine, you know,
Okay.
and then seven. Yeah. Maybe I'd say good as a seven, but even then, I'd say 300 is probably seven.
Because it's like, it makes you feel something.
Yeah, dude. Every time I watch 300, I'm like, dude, I want to just go
You're in it.
just go to war shirtless with a bunch of dudes
Dude,
fighting this other dude.
the cool part about that is that historically, my understanding of Spartan history, which is very little, those guys were all having sex with each other. And I feel like
Oh yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
makes it better,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, they were. That reminds me of a joke. One of my other friends came up. He came
Hmm.
up to me at work and he was like, um, I wish we were Spartans. And I was like, why? So we could be warriors? He's like, no, so we could have sex with each other.
I saw this thing. It was like a screenshot from a 4chan post. And it was something along the line. It went something like this. It was like the Romans get their stuff from everybody else. Like they got their, and it went into like this detail. Like they got this from the Carthaginians. They got this from the Franks. And at the last part, they said the Greeks taught them that instead that they could actually have sex with women instead of having sex with each other, or something like that. um, I think wasn't like ancient Greek culture like super misogynistic too. I remember my brother saying that when I was a teenager.
I'm not too sure. I mean, I probably learned about that in my class I'm in right now, but I mean, it seems about right. I mean,
It makes sense, yeah.
yeah, I mean, everything back then, everything,
Yeah.
pre 19, I don't know, probably say like 19. I can't even say 19 something. It probably have to be like 1980 or 70s. It's like super duper misogynistic. And even then, it's like,
Like
yeah.
if you find an ancient culture that wasn't misogynistic, you landed the
That means they weren't
jackpot.
doing something wrong. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, of course. I mean, but like you were, it was the odds were against you on that in that search. I generally respect and even enjoy Greek. Oh, okay.
No, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. It looks like it's more nuanced than I don't feel like reading all that. So the screen sharing is working right with Zoom.
Yeah. I'm watching
Okay.
it right now. Yeah. Again, I'm pretty excited for Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I don't know. I love. I'm more of a DC guy. Well, am I? That's interesting.
I
I don't
feel
even
like it
know if I'm
depends
more of
on
a.
the day
I
for
don't.
me, honestly.
I think. Yeah. I wake up. I'm Marvel. Yeah. I think it. Well, I'll probably have to go more character by character basis.
Mm-hmm.
But on average, I probably read more DC comics just because
Okay,
they're
that's
not trying to
fair.
push like really stupid politics into the comics.
Yeah, they don't do
Um.
the gender switch as much in the comics.
Yeah. They did it with the New 52, and then it flopped so hard. They're like, we're just gonna do the opposite of what we did there, and it seems to be working very well.
But at least with the new
Um.
52, there's kind of an in canon explanation for it, though, right?
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, he
So
was just
some stuff,
yeah.
and it wasn't, and they didn't do, and that wasn't the reason it flopped because they didn't really do too much of that anyway. I the only one I can remember was Wally West, and I can't even remember anybody else they did it to. So they didn't. It just flopped for other reasons.
Hmm.
Um, but um, I did like there's an in canon explanation that happened after Flashpoint.
Yeah.
That's another thing that DC does other than Marvel. DC is known for their huge reboots and retcons. Marvel rarely had like they do hard reboots. Marvel does like a soft reboot.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like, oh, this is
They
the
Mar-
ultimate universe, so we're gonna just do things differently. That's kind of
yeah,
like what you mean.
kind of, but I mean they'll have like even in the main universe they'll have like a reboot kind of where it'll be like they won't just do away with all the characters' history, but they'll be like they'll change something, but it'll be like a softer reboot, like Iron Man, I mean, like Superior Spider-Man,
Hmm.
soft reboots like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's not really that big of a deal, but DC is known for hard reboots. They'll reboot their entire universe and start over from scratch and be like, this is the new DC universe. This is what we're doing now. Like they'll have, I mean, Marvel has events too, and their events really suck. But DC's events usually change everything within the universe. Marvel's events kind of like are less in scale for the most part. There are some events that they have that are like universe altering, but not too many.
I think that's kind of respectable on DC's part. It's like we're just doing it, man. Like, wow,
Yeah,
we're resetting it.
and it usually goes well. They have some really good stories that come out of it. Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinite Crisis, Identity Crisis, Crisis.
Crisis,
That last
crisis.
one, that last one's not real.
Okay,
But they,
that
they,
was
they got
funny.
really good. They got some really good stories that come out of it. Usually,
Crisis,
Marvel.
crisis.
But I also don't like comic book events because they usually just like it's usually like, okay, how many superheroes can we fit in one comic and make it make no sense at all?
I thought in the Flashpoint comic is like one of the only comics I've ever read, but I think that they did it pretty well with all the different characters. I mean, I didn't know who some of them were, but it wasn't like I think it was kind of made to where it's like if you don't know who this person is, it's okay. You get it. They're a bunch of kids and some wizard made them. It's like okay, all right, I got it. I got the
Yeah,
cliff
yeah.
notes. I get what's important.
I mean, I mean, but that's what I liked about it. It was like, well, that Flashpoint was meant to be like a jumping on point. So it's
Yeah,
meant to be you're supposed to start there and
like a
then you could go to
tease.
the new 52 all fresh. So if you didn't know who anybody was, you just read stuff in the new 52. It would
Yeah, it was kind
explain.
of like a yeah, it was kind of like a yeah because it was yeah they were gonna set it up later. They were like these are these characters that exist and then
Yeah.
Sunday.
And that's what I like about the hard reboots that DC does better because for example, if you were asking me how to get into a character in Marvel, let's say you've never heard of Spider-Man, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't know where to tell you to start because there's like 900 issues, and it's like, but with DC, I could be like, okay, well, this is what's currently happening right now. They rebooted themselves, so just start with the stuff that they rebooted, and
Yeah,
you don't have to know any of the previous history. Just read what's currently going on, and you'll be fine. But with Marvel, it's like they do soft reboots. So all the stuff that happened already is still canon. So it's like, I guess you start at issue number one and catch up to issue number 3,685. Good luck.
I guess it's probably because I'm more of a film guy, so there's got to be like like with different series, there's kind of like the in different universes. There's kind of like
Right.
a conversation about like there's a debate about what order you should watch them in. Like with the Star Wars franchise, it's like what order
Right.
should you watch the Star Wars stuff in? And I never thought about that with comics, but like you said, right, when you have 3,000 issues and they all kind of build on each other, I mean, it's got to be difficult if you're just trying to get
Yeah.
into it.
It's really hard for people to get into it. That's one of the reasons why the comic book industry is in the state that it's in now. I mean, there's a lot of other problems that they have, but that's one of the big ones that
Hmm.
it's kind of daunting to try to get into these characters, especially with the success of the MCU. Trying to get into Marvel is pretty difficult, especially like somebody who like a really popular character like Spider-Man. Like if you wanted to get into like Moon Knight or something, that's not really that hard. There's not,
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of issues, but it's not as many, right? Spider-Man is wildly popular. He's had so many different runs, and they keep the numbers ongoing. So it's like issue like 9,000 or like issue like 1,000 or something,
Let's see.
or some crazy number of the Amazing Spider-Man. But like Moon Knight or Captain America, well, Captain America kind of, but like there's other characters that are easier to get into.
But yeah,
Like Moon Knight. Moon Knight is a easier character, way easier to get into than Spider Man. There's less that you have to read with Moon Knight. Oh, it seems like they did reboot it. I guess.
I guess
Well,
so.
but it's like a soft reboot with Marvel, like I said. So all the stuff that happened previously is still canon. So if you start on issue one of the current Amazing Spider-Man run, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, who is this? What's going on? And then you're gonna have to go back and read all the other stuff that they did. It's really daunting. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, so this is 63 to 98. Let's see how many there are here. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, all these are. So I think you're just looking at the some of. I guess they're like what they're called, omnibus or whatever. So it's
Oh
like
yeah,
a collection of all the stories that that character was in at that time.
I see.
It's in volumes, so it seems like there's about 9 volumes.
Jeez, this is
I mean, wait, oh, actually a
four
little bit,
by
probably
one,
more.
two, three. So that's 16.
I just saw volume 9. That's why I said that.
This
Just
is
kind of talking
20
out of
of
my.
100 of 463.
Yeah,
So
and I believe those are just sorted by volume too. So
yeah, how many is each
actually,
volume? Is who knows?
well, I remember the Amazing Spider-Man run I was reading back in like 2015. It was like Big Time Spider-Man. It was like in the 400, maybe like it was like in the 800s. So that should give you a good estimate of how many there are just in general. It was either like 400, like 500s or 800, something hundreds, to where
Hmm.
that's a lot of issues you're gonna have to read. DC still kind of has that problem, but not really. They do hard reboots where it's like all that stuff before doesn't really matter. You just read what's going on now. So whenever people ask me like comic book recommendations, if they want to get into a character, I honestly like I'll just be like, just read like the best storylines and kind of you'll just have to fill in the gaps later. Like with certain characters, like Spider Man, I'll tell people read certain storylines like Craven's Last Hunt right there, Birth of Venom, Spider Man Blue, and what else could I say? So I mean he's in Civil War, which is pretty good. Maximum Carnage is good. A couple of stuff, and then I'll be like, some of the other stuff you're gonna have to figure out, like the death of Gwen Stacy. You'll have to figure that out. Big Time Spider Man. You'll have to figure that out. Oh,
Wait,
and Superior Spider Man.
wait,
There's a
hold
lot
on,
of
hold on,
stuff.
hold on. Gwen Stacy dies.
Whoa, whoa.
Spoiler, dude. I hadn't even gotten there.
Yeah, spoiler for like a 40-year-old comic. My bad, man.
I didn't
But
even. I was just about to pick up that one too. Yeah. I've seen like enough YouTube videos to like get the gist about like those kinds of important moments in comic book history.
oh,
But
that's another thing I would recommend people watch. Watch YouTube videos.
these YouTube videos,
Those are wildly helpful. If
especially
you don't
our
feel like
YouTube
sitting there reading,
videos.
yeah, those are the
Like,
best.
yeah, yeah,
But
the best ones.
they're wild. They're way easier. Some of the stuff like, um, what was it? I think it was Blackest Night. I was watching a YouTube video on it, and
Hmm.
it was like 5 hours, but or 4 hours, and I watched the whole thing, and I was like, okay, now I get the gist of this whole story, so I don't have to go and read this.
That makes sense. Yeah, maybe get but maybe yeah, I could see that if you didn't want to read it, but you could always
Now that's what I'm talking about right there.
I like the old, yeah, I like this style of art with Spider-Man.
I like this style. There's a guy there. Back when I used to draw, I had a lot of guys I drew inspiration from. So, a
Hmm.
guy he died recently, but
You know his name?
he used to take inspiration from the style. His name is Tim Sale, and he used to draw all his characters. I think it was Tim Sale, or he used to draw his characters in that kind of style, especially with Spider Man. He literally drew it like in the yeah, just big cartoony looking characters. I like that about his art. Um, it was great. His stuff is always good. Just a classic looking Spider Man. That Joker is crazy with that mouth. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not
It's a
bad.
long
Yeah,
Halloween. Oh
Long
man,
Halloween.
but I like his art. And then Alex Ross is another good comic book artist. I used to draw a lot of inspiration from. His stuff is like hyper realistic though. It's crazy. I think
Oh
to me
wow, okay.
yeah, to me he's the best, greatest of all time. Look at that.
I
That is
was
insane.
I was thinking about like this kind of art style. Like, what if you did like um a movie where it looked like this, but each frame was drawn like this?
That would take an insane amount of money,
Yeah,
but I think the movie would be wildly successful.
yeah.
Um,
It'd take forever, but dude, it'd be cool.
yeah, it would. I remember I was watching this one anime movie. It took like 7 years to make, and you can tell when you're looking at it. It took like 7 years because just the amount of work that went into and the animation is beautiful. But it would take a long time to do something like this. But I think Marvel probably could do it. They have the time and the money, you
Yeah,
know.
Disney's got the money, like without a
Oh
doubt.
yeah, you're right. Disney,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
old Mickey Mouse.
Mickey. I kind of like this Iron Man,
Yeah. See, with me,
the classic.
I like a lot of the classic looks for the characters. I mean, some of them are goofy, but there's something about how goofy they look. Like Vision, his old costume was really goofy, but it's just something about it that just is like, you know what, makes me feel safe.
Yeah, like what if? So this kind of reminds.
Oh, they did it. Yeah, they did it in WandaVision. Yeah, he just looks goofy, but uh,
What? So I was thinking like, so we've talked a few times about the Thor comic book character and how we don't have that in the MCU.
right.
So I was kind of I was talking right with my dad. I was thinking about the idea of like, what if this was a thing? Like, what if they did do it? And I was thinking of like this cool moment. Well, I didn't come up with this. This was kind of like my dad. You know, when you have conversation, you kind of come up with ideas with people, and it's like a
Right.
mesh.
Yeah. Like we
Yeah,
kind of
like what we
almost
do
like
all
we
the
do.
time. Yeah, 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 exactly. So the idea was like that. He goes to like this fuck okay, so like he goes to like this redneck's house. He's like, "Do you have any grain?" You know, like he's really hungry or something. I don't know. For some reason he's in West Virginia, and he's like, "Yeah, man, yeah, oh, you look quiet. You know, what's going on with you? Yeah, yeah, you know, where are you from?" And he's like, "I am from Asgard." He's like, I don't know nothing about no Asgard now, but you know, you can come inside." And you know, of course, Thor is pure of heart, so he treats this guy really nice, and he's like, oh, dude, I forget what the, and so he's like, so where's your, do you have a, I don't know, maybe ask him something. I'm forgetting how it goes. This is terrible, but I was this like hawk suit holla, like is a thing. No, you know what? I'm abandoning this story. I had it. You ever like tell stories and like you think,
Does it come
okay,
out quite the way you think it would?
well, no, no, like you think I'm gonna tell the story and then I'm gonna remember it. Like it'll come back. That's what I
Right.
was trying to do, but it just wasn't coming.
It's all right. Happens to the best of us.
I was like, I think if I just go with what I remember, it'll jog my memory. But it did not jog my memory. It was just like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's all right. But yeah, I like that Iron Man costume
Yeah.
too. Iron Man has a lot of really dope costumes, but that one, again, there's something about that old school
Hmm.
style. There's this DC animated movie based on the comic that came out, Justice League. I think it's called New Frontier. Um, I love that. I love that comic and I love that movie because just visually, it reminds me of a bygone era. Like, look at that.
Yeah. Looks like some 50s propaganda posters or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude. Okay. So I know you're not too much of a history guy, right? But like,
No, but I like learning about history.
okay, all
I'm
right,
fond of history. I just don't study it that often.
that's fair. So like when the Soviet Union and stuff was still a thing for it was like a decade or two, maybe even less than a decade, where communist China and like the Soviet Union were allies, and the art style like this kind of looks similar. That's where I kind of got that from.
Oh, okay.
But so there's like a bunch of propaganda of like, you know, I don't know because I don't know what this says, but it's like, you know, we're gonna make our this new family together, but like, doesn't it like seem kind of like this? I've heard the idea that it looks like this gay couple who like met in a
Yeah, it
factory.
kind of, especially the one with the children. The one
Yeah,
with the children, I'm just like, are they a couple?
and it's like,
Oh, I'm just trying to. I'm not trying to be mean, but those children look really evil.
yeah.
Like not because
Let's
they're
zoom in on them.
communists, but just look at the
Communist.
kids' smiles. Look at their smiles, bro. They look so evil. Especially the one on the right.
Yeah, I think
He
this is the
look,
Chinese one. Um,
yeah, the Chinese one. He looks really evil. I hate to say it like that, but he does. Just look at him. He just looks like he wants to kill somebody.
yeah, I think
Just have
it's
like a sinister kind of smile.
I
I
think
don't know why
it's
they did it like that.
I think it's the relationship between the eyebrows. The eyebrows are so defined,
Oh, I
but the
see.
other things aren't. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
has a lot to do with that, the eyebrows and his like smile too. If he was just smiling and his eyebrows weren't so like arched, I guess
Yeah.
he'd probably look fine.
He kind of looks like this guy. I think that's how you spell his name. Yeah. Doesn't he kind of look like he grew up to be this guy?
Who is this guy? He looks interesting.
He's he founded the
Satanist.
yeah, he founded the Satanic Church.
Oh, okay.
They're like they don't actually believe in Satan, but like they
They
kind of
just
act like they
oppose
do.
Christianity. Oh,
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
that's that's what I've heard.
Yeah. Um but doesn't I mean you can kind of see it though, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
but back there's this stuff of like him these guys like yeah. It's like they met in this factory like they were working together and then you know
The start of a beautiful love story.
yeah, they fall in love. Oh, there's kind of a lot of the history of it, but uh, long story short, in like the '60s, the U.S. and communist China were like on the brink of nuclear war, and there's some cool posters. So, um, so like even at that point in time, the Chinese population was like double um, the U.S. population. I got a burp coming up. There it came out. Oops, I spelled cloud wrong. I'm trying to find the right one. Maybe I won't be able to find it. But like, so Mao was like, he was totally down for nuclear war because he was like, hey, you guys have 200 million, we have 600 million. It was something like that at that point in time. He's like, dude, we launched 20 nukes, we destroy your entire population. You drop 200 nukes, we just lose like what 40%. Hey, I'm willing to take that risk. Like he was that crazy or whatever. I mean, we love China, and he was just that dedicated to his country
Yep,
against the
absolutely.
American pig dogs or whatever.
Big dogs.
Imperialist American pig dogs. Taiwan is a province of China, and we totally support the Chinese Communist Party's righteous ambitions to retake Taiwan and everything in the South China Sea. And
Absolutely.
but I just thought that's so metal. Like, you know what? Like bro, we have more people. So, I mean,
The math works out.
we'll be fine. Like, cause just like imagine like if Trump, well, I guess I couldn't see Biden doing it, but if Trump was like, you know what, if Putin wants to go to nuclear war, you know what, we have more people. Like, can you just imagine how crazy that would be? Like, dude, you would be like, especially because you live, around DC, right? Be like shitting
Yeah.
your pants, like, please don't say that.
There was this time when I was in Hawaii. I'm sure you've heard about it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Where you,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I used
I know
to.
what you're on.
I lived there during that little thing that was going on,
Hmm.
little nuke thing. That was so. I was so terrified
There was
because I
this.
thought because somebody did it on accident or something. Yeah, it was a false missile alert. Yeah, somebody like did it on accident or something like that. It was crazy.
Whoopsie. There was like this. There was this story of this guy. Like so there was a bunch of people at this buffet, right? And that happened. And there was this like everybody was like shutting down. But there was this one guy. I saw it on Twitter. I don't. Maybe I just made this up, but it's still a cool story anyway. There's this guy who was like went to the buffet and he was like, "Hey, you know what? If the nuke's coming, the nuke's coming. I'm still eating my orange chicken." And he just like was like he's just eating as much as he could at the buffet. And I think that guy's head was in the right space.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, there's no point in panicking. It's like,
Yeah.
well, it's basically over. I'm gonna enjoy the last few minutes of my life.
I feel like though, you know what? If I was in the buffet, I would just be like, guys, let's just orgy it out. 'Cause it's like, why? Hey, we're
Now
gonna die.
that
That would suck,
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I mean, it would obviously in real life, with hindsight, we know that nothing would have happened and it would have been really awkward afterwards. But I mean, if it was real, it's just like, do you really want to spend your last time, just your last minutes just sitting around worried, or do you want to spend it around, fucking?
That's the best way to go out. Did you hear about what was it? WB Games. They're patenting their I believe it's called their Nemesis system or whatever.
No,
Um, do you know? Are you aware of what the Nemesis system is?
no,
So, have you played Middle Earth: Shadow of War or Mordor? Either one.
no.
So basically, it's actually really cool. It's
Hmm.
actually really cool. Because I play these games a lot. It gives the game so much replay value. So basically, it's a system in the game where it could be any enemy in the game. It could be like a little slave character or like a boss character, right?
Okay.
And basically they'll remember the actions of the player, right? So let's say you fight this little slave dude, and for some reason he doesn't die. You think you killed him and he doesn't die. You could be on a whole nother mission a couple days from then, and he'll run up to you one day and he'll be like, Ranger, you thought you killed me,
Oh,
but my brothers, they sewed me back together. And then you gotta fight that, and then you gotta fight that guy.
that's cool.
Or if you kill somebody's brother, they'll come out and fight you, or they'll just always remember kind of what you do,
Hmm.
and like the world is kind of built around that. So like a legend will actually build around that character. So they'll be, let's say you you burn them. They'll be called. They'll look like kind of deformed. They'll be like "Blah, the burned or something.
Oh, I see.
But
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like
that's cool.
and the way yeah it's really cool. The way it works in the game too is your character's like undead. So if you lose to that orc, they will become more powerful, and they will actually rise in the ranks in like the hierarchy. So they'll actually become more powerful and have more influence.
So that's pretty much what it's just. It helps to make the world seem like a breathing, a living, breathing thing that exists
Yeah,
independent of the player.
right. And
Right.
it's amazing because it gives the story in these games are mediocre. The gameplay's fun, don't get me wrong, but this is what really brings people back because they give the orc so much personality, and just this system of like, I remember I was watching a friend of mine stream. He started the stream and this orc was like, Ranger, you thought you killed me, but you didn't. And he was like immune to stealth because when you try to kill them a certain way and they come back, they're immune to whatever you did last time.
Oh, okay.
So
Makes sense.
he was like immune to stealth, right? And then so the guy he was like, oh whatever, and he threw him off a ledge, and then he thought he killed him, right? And then like 30 minutes later in that same stream, the dude comes out again, and he's like, "You thought you killed me? You can't, you can't kill me, Range." He came back like 3 times.
That sounds
It
cool.
makes it's actually really cool. It gives the game so much replay value because one, the orcs have so much personality. They're just really funny, and two, it's just like you never know when somebody's about to pop out. Like I was doing a story mission and I killed this guy like literally it was like a week ago and I didn't even remember his name. And I was trying to do like a stealth mission and trying to like assassinate these two other orcs. They're because they're like fighting each other, so I was gonna
Hmm.
like take them both out. And then he pops out the corner. He's like, Ranger, I have found you. I have searched forever. I finally found you. And I was like, oh brother, and I had to fight all three of them. But I think.
Sounds cool.
But what do you think about them patenting the technology?
Well,
I've heard that people say it's a bad thing, but
well,
I honestly don't think it.
from a business
Go ahead.
perspective, of course it makes sense.
Right.
Maybe it means that they're gonna exploit this and make more games with it. But
Which
as you were
go
describing
ahead.
it, I had this brilliant idea, dude. Nintendo needs to get on this, and we need to see this in a Pokemon game. Wouldn't that be, quite? It makes sense, right? Why wouldn't? So if you get beat by this trainer, right? Like, and this trainer just goes on, he just dominates everybody. He's this firebrand coming up, like you are in most of the Pokemon games. Why wouldn't you be going training up and then trying to counteract how you beat this guy before, and then this trainer
Exactly.
comes up? That would be cool. Like, hey, I finally found you again.
And then
Your
yeah,
paralysis will no longer work on me,
right. And
or
if you
whatever.
lose to him or whatever, and then he could like rise up in rank, so maybe he becomes like a gym leader
Yeah,
after he beats you,
exactly.
and you're like a certain level, and you've already beaten a couple gym members. He takes your gym badge.
Yeah, he takes your. Yeah, it's exactly because why? Because what? Like you're the only trainer going out trying to steal people's dim badges? No, people are gonna be coming for them badges, especially when you beat the Elite Four, And so you could just
Right.
keep playing it, and then eventually everybody's like level 100. Then it gets real strategy when people who have the same amount of levels come after you. I mean, maybe if you have some legendaries, that's fine. But people are going to be trying to. I mean, I don't know. I think in some of the Pokemons they deal with the idea of stealing the Pokemons, like in XD, Pokemon
Right.
XD. But people are going to be wanting those legendaries. So I feel like a Pokemon RPG would be such a cool idea. So you could have that, right? But then, like, why wouldn't there be journalists? Like, he has the famous Lugia. Tell us what it was like, and then you could like have like a dialogue tree about like, get out of my
Oh,
face.
dude,
I think this would
that'd
be
be
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think,
Thanks.
and another really interesting thing about WB Games is they're making the next Batman game. They need to
Mm-hmm.
find a way to incorporate this into the
Oh.
Batman games. Like, you just beat you. Like, I thought about this
Mm-hmm.
the other day because it actually be somewhat easier because you don't kill people.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing Nightwing and stuff. You don't kill people. You fight this
Exactly.
guy. Let's say you break his arm or something, or you stealth attack him, right? And then he comes back and he's like, "I found you" or whatever. And like you try to do another stealth attack on him, and it doesn't work because
Yeah.
he got better. I think it'd make the games interesting,
Oh,
and they got to
yeah.
give the grunts some more. Or if he
Mm-hmm.
beats you up, he rises in rank in the gang. Maybe he becomes second in command. Maybe he becomes the leader. They can't do it the same way where if he kills you, because if he kills you, you have to respawn, right? Because you
Yeah, yeah.
can't die. But if he
Well,
like I don't know knocks you out or something, or he just does pretty well against you, he rises up in rank or something.
exactly. Yeah. Well, if he finds out where you are, well, like because if you're like a guy, if you're a grunt, right, you're a henchman. Batman comes out of the grate and smashes your head. You're gonna at the very least you're gonna be checking those grates a few extra times next time.
Yeah,
Or,
exactly.
or maybe at the most you're deathly afraid of grates and you don't want to go near them. That would be a cool thing to do too, because not only
Right.
does it work against you, but it might work for you because now these henchmen are like, if I see a gargoyle, I'm not even going near it because last time I did, Batman pulled me out from the darkness and I was hanging for 2 days. Like I'm not doing this.
Right,
Like,
right.
or maybe the
And you could
yeah
you could do a lot of stuff with this. Because I remember in
hmm
Shadow of War, I was big in the community for a while. Not big in the community like I made videos, but
yeah
I was watching a lot of videos on it. And this
you
guy,
into it.
he was like, yeah, I was really into it. So he took like a slave. They have like literally like slaves,
Hmm.
like little like weak slave orcs, and he purposefully let him kill him so that he would keep rising up in rank and become like the overlord of that place. So
Yeah.
he like continuously let the guy kill him and kill him and kill him over again. And it's just like stuff like that. You can't do that in other games. It's like it gives you so much replay value because you don't know what's gonna happen. You could be on your way to another mission, and some dude will pop out and be like, "You killed my brother. Now we have to fight."
Hmm. I mean, because that's
But
what people do. I mean, all the time. I
right,
Well, the way that so I just finished the main story in Arkham City New Game Plus, and like a lot of the times you could just kind of sneak past a lot of the henchmen. You don't really have to beat them up, but like that might be like a thing. Like if you sneak past them, that would change it maybe. Or like if you just if you knock out one of them but you leave the last one, that might change it. I don't know if it would be like, oh, so you didn't see him get through, so you're getting demoted, or maybe it would be like, well, at least you survived. I don't know. But like you said,
exactly.
yeah, because with
It'd be
Batman, you don't
like
even have to worry about the necromancy stuff. He leaves everyone alive. I mean, the whole question of like, oh well, I mean, don't the what like the Gotham healthcare system being, having to deal with dozens of broken arms every night. That's kind of just dismissed. But especially if it takes place over like weeks, unlike the way the games have worked up to this point. If it's like, oh, this is
one
multiple
night.
days this past, yeah, if it's just all one night, that doesn't really make sense. But if it's over the score of weeks, or weeks or months even, then it would certainly make sense, or especially years. But I don't think
Yeah,
years
you
would
could
make
do it
sense.
like that
Yeah.
because in these games, um, of course your character is like literally dead, and time actually passes. You're
Mm-hmm.
gone. That everybody thinks you're dead. So I mean, well, you technically are dead, but you come back because you're like undead.
Oh,
You
okay.
just come back after a while, but
As one
like
does.
time will pass. Time will pass, so it won't be like, oh, this is one day. It'll be like, oh, it's been. It won't tell you how much time passed, but you could assume it's been like a month or a week or maybe even a year. You could have been battling for a year and you just been gone for a year. And this guy rose up the ranks all because he killed you, or this guy failed the ranks because he got just embarrassed by you.
Yeah, and because those little things in people's careers, they have rippling impacts.
Right. I think it's a good business move. I know I've seen some people shout out my guy Degenerate J. He was talking about he thinks it's bad for gaming. And I guess for gaming as a whole, it's kind of bad, but it's not really because there's not too many other games where I see this kind of system, being implemented. It's like
Hmm.
you kill the guy's dead, he's not gonna come back and try to fight you. But
Yeah,
or
well,
you kill some random dude's brother, he's not gonna come back and try to fight you. Nobody was really doing it, so they have every right to try to patent it. It's their idea. They
that's
did it.
true. Well,
Yeah.
I don't really know how I feel about intellectual property as a principle, but this is really just the whole intellectual property argument because I can think of this in two different ways, right? So you can think of it as it's intellectual property is bad because, which is probably the guy you were talking about. This is probably the argument he made, which is because certain companies can hoard ideas and this doesn't allow for innovation. So that's the kind of the main one of the main con arguments against it. And one of the main pro arguments
Right.
is, well, why would if companies could just steal, right? If Rockstar or whatever could just take this idea from Warner Brothers games and incorporate that in the next Grand Theft Auto game, then why would Warner Brothers try to innovate if they can't make money off of it for a period of time? They can only make money off of it once. Are they really going to put that much effort into it? Probably not. And so I don't know. I don't really know what the answer is to that. But
Right.
I kind of lean towards your idea because it's like, well, if I make a song, I mean, shouldn't other people shouldn't be able to just copy that song? I think that after like a certain amount of time, like with inventions, it's like 5 years, but for like movies, because of Disney's lobbying and stuff, it's been like 70 years. It's like I don't know if you really deserve the rights to the movie for 70 years.
Yeah, I'm kind of iffy on that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I feel like, let's say I created Batman,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be allowed to be like, some Marvel writer should be like, oh well, I'm taking Batman. Batman's mine now, and I'm just gonna do whatever I want with Batman. If I
Okay.
created something, I feel like I should, right? I mean,
But what happened? I mean,
it's either.
isn't Bob Kane
I
dead?
think it's either all. Well, yeah, he's dead, but DC owns Batman, so at this point, it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Well, at some point in time, shouldn't they not?
DC, no, no, they should.
For
Why should they not own it?
okay, well, let's think about it. Okay, so like,
Well, it's kind of different because Marvel could just come up with the superhero and be like, "Oh, he's Rat Man,"
okay, that's true.
but
Okay.
but no, but it makes no sense
Hmm.
for them to not own Batman anymore.
This
It's their idea,
this is
and Marvel should. I
loose
mean, I mean,
Bane.
I think for
Batman.
I think it's kind of different for comic books. Well, I think it's different for characters in
Mm-hmm.
general. Like it should, like, you know, if you think Star Wars shouldn't, like, you think we should just be able to use Luke Skywalker whenever we feel like it. Be like, oh, this Luke, we have Luke Skywalker in our universe, and you just guys are just gonna have to deal with it. I don't think so. That's just, right. I think with characters that's kind of different though. It's like they're, let's say, sell the rights to the character, like Shazam or something.
So, do you think that like ideally, like Pinocchio would be an owned product by some company going dating back centuries?
Mm, no. How didn't Pinocchio start as like a folk tale or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
how the
exactly. But
origin. Well, yeah, I
isn't
think places
Batman
like
just
that
like a
is different.
folktale?
No, it started off as a comic book.
Does
That's
does that
different.
make a
I'm not.
fundamental? Okay, so if
Yeah.
I'm telling
Well,
you
I'm
the
not. I'm
story with
not
my
passing
mouth
down the.
while I'm writing it
I'm not.
down, is that different?
It's not just writing it down. You're writing it down for the company of DC. You didn't just be like, oh, I'm making Batman now, and this is my independent comic.
Hmm.
That's different.
Okay.
You're DC. You came to DC and you said, this is my character. This is an idea I have for a character for your company. I'm making this character for your company. I'm making this exclusively for DC.
Mm-hmm.
There's an inherent difference in that. Like the example I brought with Shazam. Shazam was uh he was owned by Charleston Comics or whatever, but it wasn't like that big of a deal. So they were like, it wasn't exclusive to. I mean, he was exclusive to them for a while until DC bought them out.
Mm-hmm.
But if I made an independent comic book character and I would call him, um, black man.
Black man.
And
No, no, no,
I
no, no.
mean, I think it's different if it's like a folk. I don't know. I think comic book characters are kind of different from folk tales. It's just those have been passed. You're telling that story from your
So
mom,
like,
passed down generation. You didn't,
mhm.
but like also those characters, you never really have a case where it's an independent comic and it's just that. Like it's just that original character and that's it. You're usually developing it for a company, big or small. So it's kind of different in that regard.
So what about with like so like Sherlock Holmes? The stories are so old that they're in the public domain. Do you think that those should be like? Do you think that the authors of those stories, they should still be like, their descendants should be getting like a royalty for each time somebody makes a Sherlock Holmes spinoff?
I actually think they should absolutely should get a royalty.
Okay, well, um,
Well, I think that, I mean, but royalty is not going to be that much. It's usually like, I mean, not usually, but you know, a 5, 10%. It depends on what you're giving them royalty of anyway. Is it how much the movie just grosses in general, or what are you giving them the royalty of? But I mean,
yeah, I don't know exactly how
um,
royalties work in general, honestly,
I know, but
but
I mean,
hmm.
it's generally not like a big chunk. Like it'll usually be like 5. I mean, it feels like a song or something, maybe 10%, but like 5% is fair. You know, it's never going to be something outlandish like 20. If you're giving away 20% royalties, somebody who didn't even make it, like, what's the point of using the character anyway? Why not
Okay,
use
yeah.
Kurlock Bones or
Go like
something?
Bones. I think that there's
Just
like
literally
a
make
yeah.
the same character, but like name him something different. People do it all the time.
That's true. I mean, there's plenty of like Sherlock Holmes, like House MD is just a Sherlock Holmes spinoff. Just oh,
Right.
he's Sherlock Holmes, but he's a doctor. That's pretty much it.
Exactly.
That's pretty much
Just
it.
just
Yeah.
just change it. But with characters, I think it's different. But I guess I can see how it's bad for gaming in general.
Hmm.
I mean, but it's also like it sucks. You should have came up with the idea. That's really tough. But also, nobody's stopping you from doing something similar, but
Hmm.
that's not the exact same. It can't stop you from doing something that's very similar, but
Yeah. Okay.
you can't use the exact same thing. There's a lot of workarounds you could use. You just got to be clever enough. But they shouldn't. I've heard people say that they should only be able to patent the name, which that doesn't make any sense. Then why patent it at all?
Yeah, because then you could yeah right, right, you just call it. I mean, how far does that go? Is it just like you can have everything the same? It's just Ratman and Rotham and it's Patman and Botham and Potham with with Commissioner Borden and it's just all the same story. I mean, it's just the names are different. That's not. It's kind of like let me. So, are you familiar with the So there's like a logic problem called the ship of Theseus. Do you know what this is?
No.
So it's like, the idea is like if you take, let's see, there's a cool visual here. It's just a ship. So if you take like a ship, right? Okay, and it's made out of wood, planks of wood, and then you take each you will replace a plank a day, and then you put all those old planks in like a shed. At what point in time does the ship become a new ship? It's like that. There's no real answer to it, I don't think. But that's kind of like the
Okay.
logic problem. And then also it's like, so if we eventually replace all of the planks, then we take all the old planks and reassemble the ship. So now you have two ships. It's like, well, is this are these two distinct ships or what's going on here? And I think that you can kind of do that with a story, right? You could just it's like how much do you change? Okay, now it's in Potham, but now Robin's Pobbin, but Pobbin's a woman. It's like okay, or okay, now Bruce Wayne he didn't die in Crime Alley, he died on a rooftop, and it was you know Angelina Lopez who shot him, and it's like well you can just keep changing things. But really wasn't his parents, it was his grandparents who raised him because his parents died when he was a kid, when he was born, and then you could just keep changing these things until eventually it's like when does it become a different story? And I don't know if this is really philosophically, or if this is really like intellectually related, but I think this is kind of getting down to like the philosophical element of what is an idea and what isn't an original idea. I don't know what the solution is to it, but I think it's kind of relevant and
Okay.
cool.
It is kind of cool. Yeah. Certainly something to think about
Pat,
when I start stealing all my ideas.
yeah. Well, cause so like you know how those like plagiarism checkers and for like essays and stuff.
Right.
I've actually like legit never plagiarized with an essay. I don't know if I've even plagiarized anything really, um, but like the one of my teachers, my literature teacher, he said something along the lines of like, well, couldn't you? So and students say, well, couldn't you just go through the plagiarism checker on your own to see if like you plagiarized? And he said, yeah, but eventually you just have to keep changing the verbiage until it's like so different, and then it's which case, then it's like, well, you might as well just made your own essay. And I think I
Right.
just kind of think like what if like you just that would be kind of an interesting project to just be like, we're gonna take this one story, like we're gonna take this Batman comic, we're just gonna keep changing each little thing until eventually it gets its own thing. Then it's like, who really made the story? Because like it's like you and me, we're sitting here like, well, this is what happens at the beginning. What if it happened like this? And we just change everything so slightly, and we just do that enough where it's a completely unique story. It's like, who made that story? It's like, I don't know. Like, isn't that just weird?
Yeah.
Oh, I have this problem, this existential crisis with myself about every few days. So it's like, you know how like your cells die, and they get replaced.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like the sip of Theseus, but it's like with yourself. You know, because it's like you want the same Dunquarius you were yesterday. This is a different set of cells and atoms and matter. Cells and atoms are matter, but you know, like that's crazy.
It is. Yeah.
That's just something I think about. And I just, you know, I've thought about this a lot, and my conclusion has just been like, whatever. You know, it is what it is. That's like, I think that when you get into like a certain like deep amount the things with like philosophical concepts, so like with metaphysics, I think you get to the point where you just have to say like, yeah, man, no, whatever. Like, 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 yeah, there's like 300 elements or whatever, but like, what makes these elements these elements? Like, why are they this way? And it's just like, yeah, well, who knows? It's
Yeah. Right. Like
that way,
whatever.
yeah,
I don't care.
yeah. Because like, if you could ask like a biochemist or whatever, and you could talk to this person about like, you know, what all these molecules do, these drugs, serotonin, all that stuff do to your mind, and then you ask them like, yeah, so like all these molecules they make up like this particular structure of atoms make up, you know, serotonin, but what does that have to do? Like, why? They're just like, I don't know. It's like that's like the most building block the foundation of all of these ideas, and nobody can answer them. It's just like, well, I guess there's nothing to do there from here. I guess what I'm saying is that nobody knows anything and nothing means anything.
Exactly. We're all just floating on a. We're all just little specks floating on a slightly bigger blue speck
Yeah,
in the middle of nowhere.
that's crazy too. How like fast Earth is moving and rotating. Like that's just
Well,
like what's
it would be fast if the Earth wasn't flat, but since the Earth's flat,
oh yeah.
um, nah, yeah,
Flat, dude. Um, so we had to do like I had to do like a natural science like presentation about something in natural science. Me and another guy,
right.
and dude, I just realized I should use. What am I doing using Opera, dude? I need to be using Tor. That way, it won't affect all of like my search results won't come up. I won't actually be logged into something, and also you know privacy. But
Right.
anyway, but and so like I had to like so I got up in class, made the arguments for the flat Earth, and that was one of the funnest things I ever did. I was like, I mean, not in my life, but it was like one of the funnest presentations I ever gave, because it was like we were all trying to like me and my partner were trying to keep a straight face and like and we actually made people like, wow, you know, they actually made a really convincing argument for the Earth being flat. It was like classic misinformation. See. No. The Earth rotates once every 23 hours. That's the whole day. Dude, the whole day thing is weird. Because it's like, okay, so a day is an objective measurement, right? It's like
Right.
when the sun comes back. But like an hour, that's not objective. Like we can just come up with that. Like let's divide it differently. You know what I'm saying? Let's redo this
Yeah,
whole
I
thing.
guess, but I wonder where all that came from.
Yeah, okay, okay. Let's see. What is time? Like how we were talking about like, yeah, I'm really interested to see this one movie on HBO Max, and then it's all like, what really is time? It's like, we have a wide range here on the Elitist Pizza Podcast. Okay, what is an hour?
It's gonna say 60 minutes. It's just gonna be like 60 minutes,
Oh,
you
well,
idiot.
it's a 24th of a
Oh, it's
day,
1/24 of a day.
which kind of
Oh, I could
dumb.
have.
But between what? Depending on conditions. Yeah, dude, because like time is relative to where you are, like
Right.
gravity and stuff. That was like the most basic way to explain it. Like, the people who write books about like, you know, special relativity, and I just explained it with a sentence. Yeah, vary by season and latitude. But like, yeah, okay, you said it. It's okay. The ancient Greeks and Romans originally divided the day into 12 hours and the night into 3 or 4 night watches. That's weird, but the Greek astronomer Andronicus of I don't know oversaw the construction of Horologion, called the Tower of the Winds in Athens. During the 1st century BCE, the structure tracked a 24-hour day using both sundials and mechanical hour indicators. The night was eventually also divided into 12 hours. The canonical hours were introduced in the early Christianity. So, okay, so it was about 2,000 years ago. So what were people doing before then?
They're probably just living.
Yeah,
Well, trying not to die by like 20. So
yeah, that's true. But like Chinese civilization has existed for like thousands of years before the Greeks were even doing stuff. So what do they use?
they probably didn't do anything. I mean, not do anything, but probably again too busy trying not to die.
They had to have some way to measure time though, right? Whenever they,
But what if they just didn't care? I mean,
I think they did.
that's always a possibility. I feel like they didn't. I mean, personally. I mean, just thinking about what I would do back then, I wouldn't care. I'd be trying not to get eaten alive.
Well, yeah, but they were
Um,
like, you know,
and try not to die by what is it? They die by like if you live to like 25, you're probably like they probably think you're like a deity or something. They're
I
probably
think
just
that you're
trying
underestimating
to
the advanced technological levels of
well, they
ancient
didn't live
China.
very long, so
Well, the rich people did.
what? Maybe like 50, no, maybe like 40.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's accurate.
40 at best. They probably died soon, maybe even 35.
So they
They
divided
didn't
them up.
have very
Yeah. Well, I don't think so.
uh
I think
they didn't live
that's.
very long.
I think that's. I don't. God damn it. How long did people live in? Let's see. Let's just do 1000 BC.
Like 3 days.
Okay, so for prehistory today. Okay. Okay, past the ages. Okay, significantly. Okay. The average lifespans in ancient Greek and Roman times is short at approximately 20 to 35 years, though he laments these numbers based on notoriously represented graveyard and epitaphs and samples. Moving forward along the historical timeline, Finch lists the challenges of reducing historical lifespans and causes of death. Okay, because the thing about using averages is that's dumb. Because so many people died when they were babies back in the day that you shouldn't use averages. Because if you live, my understanding is that in like medieval Europe, which of course is not what we're talking about right now, but if you lived past 12, which a lot of people didn't, like if you lived past 15, you were probably going to die at around 50. But because so many people didn't get past 15, the average is so low. So it looks like, so when you think, oh yeah, the average person died around 25, that's technically accurate, but that's just because so many people died when they were kids. So as long as you get past, the tutorial, you know,
Oh, I don't think they live. I don't even think they. You said in Europe during like the
Middle
Middle
Europe.
Ages.
Yeah.
No, I still think.
That's
I still think 45 is probably pushing it in Europe.
all right. Little access to effective medical care. Okay, likely limited. So let's see. When is this? Ancient times. Okay, so this is supporting what you said. To a bit out. That's life expectancy at birth. Yeah. Okay. So I'm right. Unhygienic living conditions and little access to effective medical care. So this is just everywhere, I guess. Meant life expectancy was likely limited to about 35 years of age. That's life expectancy at birth, a figure dramatically influenced by infant mortality, pegged at the time as high as 30%, which is what I was saying. It does not mean that the average person living in 1200 AD died at the age of 35. Rather, for every child that died in infancy, another person might have lived to see their 70th birthday.
Hmm.
I mean, this is verywellhealth.com, so maybe this isn't the best source, but early years up to the age of about 15 continued to be perilous. Like I said, up to about 15. Thanks to risks posed by disease, injuries, or accidents, people who survive these hazardous periods of life can make it well into old age. So yeah, they had a bunch of diseases, but it was like because diseases and famines are way worse for kids most of the time. It was like if you got past kid the kid stage, then you were fine. At least, but I feel like, yeah. But anyway, but that is still an answer. Okay, but in ancient China, they did have a system. So they
Oh,
divided
okay.
them up into 15 hours, um, and they just had different names for them, which is kind of cool. So like you wouldn't say hour one, you would call it dawn. You'd be like, yeah, it's dawn. That was just the name for an hour, or one of the 15 ways they divided up the day. Dude, imagine like when people were like meeting other people, like when explorers went to Asia or whatever, when Europeans went to Asia, they probably tried to schedule stuff, dude, and that was like ridiculous. They were like, okay, we'll see you at 2 o'clock, but like 2 o'clock when you dividing it by 15, dividing it by 24, totally different times.
Right.
That must have been like how would you even explain? Because I don't even know what would I do in that situation? Just be like, okay, meet me when the sun's in the middle of the sky. I guess that's the only thing you could do.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, like when the sunrise. Yeah, sun. I guess that's why sun. You just say sunrise. But then there's only like two or three things that you could say. You would be like, yeah, when the sun falls. But I mean, you got to have more specific system than that. You'd have to work it out. But how do you explain to someone how long an hour is? You say you divide the day up by 24, I guess. But even then, it's like, so how do you? What does that even mean? How long is a day? Because isn't this all like based on each other, right? Because you have a day, you divide that up into 24, so you have 1 hour is a 24th of a day. Okay, so how long is a day? A day is 24 hours long. How long is an hour? Oh, it's a 24th of a day. So like I don't even know how long a day is, but I do. Like I can explain that to you. It's like asking me what yellow looks like. Like I don't know. Like I know, but I don't. Anyway, did you know that Ninja decided to quit Fortnite?
Good for him, I guess. I don't really watch Ninja
I don't either, but I just figured,
or anybody who plays Fortnite.
Fortnite.
But that's great for him. I know he plays other games, so I mean, sure he won't be hurting that bad. Sure
Yeah.
his pockets won't be hurting that bad.
It was like his how do I want to say it? It was like people were watching his stream and then they would play with him. They would see where he was through the stream, and so they would go find him and kill him. And they kept doing that. So he was like, you know what, guys, I'm not playing.
Yeah, that's one of the downfalls of being like a big streamer. A lot of people would probably do that. I know sure people probably did that when he played Among Us too. They'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, you're the imposter. I'm watching your stream right now."
Yeah.
I know it's hard being a content creator and you're playing video games.
Mm-hmm.
I know this. I was watching this dude. I used to watch this dude a lot. His name was Cartoons, and he was talking about. He didn't stream, but he's talking about how he'd use different accounts and he would never like reveal himself to his fans, to people he's playing with, because they just abuse him. He was
Makes
playing
sense.
Rainbow Six Siege, and he was like, they asked him, "Are you Cartoons or whatever?" And then he was like, "Yeah, what's up, guys?" And then for the rest of the game, they kept team killing him.
Yeah.
And then whenever he said something, they're like, "You can't be Cartoons because a YouTuber would never act like this," which I think is stupid. It's like, um,
How would you know, like, what a YouTuber
how do you,
acts like or whatever?
I mean, these people are not asking to be your role. They're not trying to be like like John Cena or something and eat your fruits and vegetable, kids. I'm a role model.
Yeah.
It's just a dude who plays video games on the internet. I mean, I'm not like diminishing him, but I'm just saying like he has no reason not to act like that.
Yeah, I think that's true. I kind of want to. That's so. I don't know if you're familiar with this term, parasocial relationships.
Sounds familiar, but go ahead and
It's
explain.
like that's like what you're talking about. It's like you have like people have like celebrities that they follow and they like obsessed with them and stuff. Or people
Right.
just feel like they have a connect. Like, yeah, I really have a connection with this YouTuber. You know, that's this parasocial relationship. Like you feel like you know the person, but like you absolutely don't. And
Right.
that's weird. That's something I've kind of contemplated. You know, as we've kind of started this journey together. Like, how am I gonna handle that? I don't really know. Um,
Yeah, I don't know how I'd handle
yeah.
fame either, to be honest. Because I mean, I've had those. The last celebrity I did that with was like Kobe.
Oh yeah, I vaguely
Uh,
remember that. The Kobe
when I was
phase.
I didn't. It wasn't a phase. I'm still a big Kobe fan, even
Oh
though he
okay.
died.
Kobe.
But uh, R.I.P. My man's Kobe. That was the last. But like that was the last. I mean, not the last celebrity I cared about, but that's the last one I like was kind of like invested in, I guess.
Dude, it all makes sense now.
Uh,
That's why you were opposed to me changing the whole hour thing because you wanted it to be 24.
what?
Cause was
I
it
don't even know
Kobe
what you're
number?
talking about.
Because I was
I don't
like,
know where you.
because
I'm confused on what you mean, but
because I was
sure,
like,
yeah.
let's change the hour thing from 124th, and you were like, what? Like I don't know. And like
Oh yeah, yeah.
Kobe's. Alright, sorry. It was too
I get
layered
the
and
no, I
not
get the
clever
connection.
enough.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, sorry.
I'm just, no, I'm just stupid. But
Alright,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the audience
But
love
I don't
it.
really, I don't really care too
Okay.
much. I mean, I don't really care, but I don't really look up to any celebrities like that because I kind of just realize they're regular people
Yeah.
and they do regular stuff and a lot. I mean, I don't know. I've always thought about that how I would handle fame. It kind of depends on what I would do, right? If I was like,
Hmm.
I mean, I plan on making money from fighting, hopefully, but you know, I kind of would be like I almost want to say I'd be like a recluse and like just kind of to myself, and I just do my job and that's it, and don't deal with media. But like, you can't really do that in this day and age, or people would
Hmm.
just forget about you.
Okay, yeah.
No, I mean that's with any job that comes with fame. You can't really just be like, I'm just gonna be a recluse and not talk to anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe like if you're a huge musician, but like if you're starting out now and you plan on being like a huge musician, you almost can't do that
True.
because people our attention span is so low that it's like if you're not doing something now, like we're just gonna forget about you.
I imagine you being like the really mean celebrity. Like fans would be like, "Oh my god, I want to take a picture with you," and you would like slap their phone out of their hand.
I think that's accurate.
I'm trying to eat
Like
a
a
steak.
Kanye
Yeah, like
like a Kanye West.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I remember, well, I feel like I'd be nice to an extent, but there's a point that celebrities get to where people are like really either really rude or just really annoying,
Hmm.
but like they just kind of have to deal with it and they,
Yeah.
be do the mature thing. And I just wouldn't be able to do that. I'd just be like, get out of my face. I remember the paparazzi was at his house. It was like, I think it was like 4 a.m. And he was like closing his garage. And they're like, "Hi, Kanye. Hope you're having a good morning." He was like, "Shut up." Yeah. And you're like, "Good morning, Kanye." He's like, "Shut up." I feel like I would be like that. I mean, at some point, like, leave me alone. Like, if a fan
Yeah.
found out where I lived, and like let's say a fan broke into my house, and let's say they're not even trying to do anything threatening, and they're like, "Oh, I love you so much," they're getting hit with like a three-piece combo.
Yeah. Um,
Like
I get you.
you're
Yeah.
gonna, I'm gonna break you in half.
I will break
Uh,
you. Yeah,
I mean,
I
I don't
get
know.
you.
I feel like so I'd be. I mean, I try to be as nice as I can for a while, but I wouldn't. I mean, I probably there's levels. There's just things I wouldn't tolerate. Like I know fans putting cameras, like when people putting their cameras in my face. I mean, I guess I'd have to get used to it, but I probably slap somebody's phone out of their hand. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not even like, dude. I've learned so much about like the media as a result of figures like Trump. I wouldn't even be salty because, dude, the more people you slap, like the more headlines there are, and the more viewers we get. I mean, maybe it'd be a bad deal for sponsorships or whatever, but maybe not.
They'll come back around.
If you get to a certain level, well, like,
Right.
I
How
mean,
would you act? I feel like you'd act. I feel like you'd be at least a better man than I
yeah,
would be.
appreciate that.
I'd be as nice as I can, but there's gonna be a point where I'm gonna be like, all right, you guys are annoying. Like I'll make it clear they're like annoying me, and I'll be like, please leave me alone.
Hmm.
I'm done for the day. Like just please leave me alone. I just want to go to my house. And then if they keep on bothering me, I'm just gonna be like, all right, I literally hate you. Like I want you to know that this person you idolize hates you with all his heart.
But
I'll be like,
like,
what's your name? Little
I
Timmy.
hate you.
Well, little Timmy, I want
Post
you to
on your
know that,
Twitter
that
like,
I want you to
I
know that
hate this
your
person.
favorite celebrity literally hates you. Like he
Um,
literally hates you and he doesn't want anything to do with you. And if I see you again, I'm gonna punch you in the face. No, that last part's too much, but I'll probably be like, I want if it's an adult,
mhm.
if it's like a kid
Oh
and
yeah,
they're
if it's
being
a kid,
annoying,
yeah.
if it's like a kid, they're being annoying. Like they're kids. Kids are gonna like whether you're famous or not. A kid's just going to be annoying. They're just kids. That's just what they do. They just annoy people. So
Have you ever?
I can live with a kid being annoying to me, but an adult, I would be like I'd be like, dude, go away. Like I probably insult them too.
Have you watched The Boys?
Yes.
You know how like Homelander handles the paparazzi, and he's like totally two faced with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I think that's might be how I'd be. Like I'd be like bunch of bunch of well, what's the term? Bunch of plebs, or whatever. They'll eat anything I feed them. They just worship the ground I walk on. Oh, hey guys, how you doing? No, no, I think I'd probably be pretty fine. I think the kind of I doubt that we're gonna get PewDiePie famous. Um, deep in my bones, I think we're gonna get more like Angry Joe. I think Angry Joe might be like the max. I can realistically feel like that we can get.
That's
And
not a bad max.
yeah, it's not at all. Some of the things we do is kind of based off of his model. I was just kind of thinking the other day about what kind of people have inspired me. Do I kind of want to copy? Because one of the things that I've seen is like people say just kind of copy the guy you like, and eventually you'll kind of do your own brand. And what kind of the way I've kind of viewed is I've copied like 4 or 5 people, which I guess in itself kind of makes its own original thing. Um, but I feel like he probably gets recognized maybe once at least a few times a year, right? When he's walking around in public. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I don't think we're gonna get Kanye level where people like journalists are outside of our garage at 4 in the morning.
Right. Hey, I don't know about
I
that.
don't foresee that, but
I do think I do plan on being known for
hmm,
other things as well.
fair. That's fair.
So that might be it might be a little bit different. Again, I mean anything's possible. I could have my first amateur fight in a couple of months from now, get like knocked out in like the first two
Yeah.
seconds, and be like, you know what? I'm never doing this again.
Oh, okay.
And
I see.
then this is all I do. I mean, I hope that's not what happens, but
Oh, I see. I
we'll
see
have to
what you're
see.
saying.
I'm kind of just like seeing where life. But let's say I was a successful MMA fighter. I feel like we get recognized a
Hmm.
bit more, just for
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. It'd be
Or
like kind of like what Joe Rogan did, right? He had his other job, and then he was that people kind of knew him with, and then he kind of did the podcast, and then he
right.
does the podcast now. Yeah.
And then not to mention if we actually, for some reason, some idiot gives us a job in film.
You mean a genius?
Yes, a absolute genius.
Dude, I think okay. You know what? Even if we say, hey, art wise, it's not a good idea. If we just disregard the art aspect of film, which I don't know if we should. If we just got if Disney was like, you guys have the best ideas, make something. I think we would make something people would want to see.
I think so too, because I know what I'd want to see. You know what you want to see, and
Hmm.
I think we're not that kind of people. At least in my eyes, we might be
Hmm.
seeing ourselves as two completely different people, but um, we're not the kind of guys that are like content with. Remember that era like a couple years back where everything was a remake. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure we wouldn't be like, okay,
Yeah, no
yeah,
remakes.
we'll remakes whatever you want, whatever it is.
We might pay
We'll probably come up,
homages at the
yeah,
most.
of course,
Yeah.
but come up with something original. I mean, with superhero films, it's kind of different.
Hmm.
Everything's a remake because it's like
That's
well,
true.
not everything, but it's like if they asked us to direct the next Iron Man movie, obviously it wouldn't be a remake, but we're using the same characters.
Yeah.
But
Like, but I think it would be like I think we could be the next Wachowskis. You know what? I don't. I think that if we had that possibility, right? If we just had those resources, I could see it. Because I think that like if you just gave us a film crew and like some sets, I think we could make something cool. And
I really do too.
the thing about movies is that like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, you're not gonna make the best movie ever. Just make something cool. Because if you make something cool, people will remember it, and that's it.
Right, and that leads me to like some of my favorite movies. I know I mentioned them a lot on these shows, but a lot of my favorite movies aren't the most deep, most profound movies you'll ever watch, and the plots are rather simple, but it's all in how it's executed. And I think we have that where we'll come up with something, whether it's in the lighting or in the directing or just I mean, I'm sure the story will be fine. Like we'll do a good job, but I
Yeah.
think our thing will probably be like
The imagery.
and the imagery as well, right? Because that's what draws me into a lot of movies. That's what I keep bringing this one up, but I mean, John Wick is a good example. I know you haven't seen. I'm
Yeah, I
not
need
sure if
to.
you've
I
seen
need
that yet,
to. I'm gonna take notes
but
somewhere to watch
it's
John Wick.
a very basic movie. I mean, I mean, it's kind of complicated, but the story, man, lives by himself. Dog gets
Yeah,
murdered.
yeah,
He starts murdering people, but it's all in the imagery. It's all in the execution because that's your recipe for any Liam Neeson movie. But
yeah.
for some reason, it works, and it's because of the imagery. Same thing with Drive. Drive is a very simple movie, but but also it's simple, but also complicated because in the imagery, they're telling you a lot of things without actually like explicitly telling you. They're showing you and not telling you. That's what I like to say. I got that from my
Yeah, yeah.
creative
Should
writing
I tell? Yeah,
classes.
yeah.
You don't explicitly tell me this guy's gonna die. Show me that they're gonna show me
Exactly.
what's gonna happen, and I think we could get that down pat. I'm sure. I think we'll usually probably come up with like a better story than a lot of the I don't like to say garbage, but a lot of the garbage is being pushed in Hollywood just because
Hmm.
people are content with making a a remake or something. I think we'll come up with better stories, but I
Well,
think
the
our
thing
thing will
is that
probably be like the imagery too. That like
most
I
stories
know
have already
for
been done.
right, we're
You
not
just have
reinventing
to.
anything.
You reskin it. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like again, like Drive. It's like the dude. The, it's a simple revenge film.
Hmm.
The guy's just getting revenge. It's a simple, very simple revenge film, but in the way it's executed, it's amazing. It's become one of my favorite films of all time
Well, yeah, because it's
because
like,
you're not reinvent. You're just the imagery they show in the scenes. The fact they're telling you stuff and then they're showing you stuff and not telling you. Um, if you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There's this elevator scene. You
hmm.
have to go back and watch it, but there's this
Okay,
elevator scene that's pretty important in the movie, and they're showing you a lot of things. There's a lot of symbolism in a lot of the scenes that you get when you watch it. They're not explicitly telling you things, and I think that's kind of our lane. We understand we're not reinventing anything, and we're not
hmm.
going to try. I mean,
Yeah,
not try to reinvent anything, but we're not going to we're not gonna like act like we're the most profound, deep, you know, filmmakers of all time. But we're just gonna make things that people want to watch, something really
exactly.
cool.
Well,
I
like,
think what I like to describe
mhm.
is I think at least personally, I think I would make a filmmaker's film, a film that other filmmakers would appreciate. So an aspiring director could watch, like how I am with Driving John Wick and other films like that, where it's like you're seeing the techniques that they use, and you're like, wow, I'd like that. Like like a lot of the zoom ins that Quentin Tarantino does. I love when he does
I
that.
was actually
He
gonna
does it in all his
mention,
movies.
yeah, I was actually gonna mention
But
Quentin Tarantino because Quentin Tarantino movies, they're not like pushing the boundary of like philosophy. They're not making you rethink your life, but they're cool movies, and it's just like, dude, what if this
it's great
slave, like,
cinema.
yeah, exactly, this slave, okay, so what if there's like this bounty hunter that teaches him how to fight, and he wants to get his wife back who's in slavery, so he goes and frees her, and he kills a bunch of racist white people. That's the movie. I just told you the whole movie, Django Unchained, and that's not like a unique story, but it sounds cool. And if you shoot it cool, people are gonna like it, and that's it.
Exactly, and it's crazy how even though it's not, they're not, his movies are not profound. A lot of them are some of, and a lot of people's all time list of favorite movies or best movies. It's simple. You're not doing too much, but you're
Exactly.
you're doing something different. With your filming style, like Daredevil. I mean, there's a lot of complicated stuff in Daredevil, but a lot of what makes Daredevil is a lot of the way they're shooting it. I go to a lot of like, this is something that I drew inspiration of. I'm thinking about the Batman scene, one of either Thomas Wayne or Bruce Wayne scene that. Remember how Daredevil had that hallway scene and it was one take kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing a Batman scene like that.
Hmm.
You know, I have no idea why that hasn't. I mean, not no idea why it hasn't been done, but they even did it in Creed. But I think like that's one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen. It's crazy, and he's not doing anything complicated. He's not doing anything special, but it's all in the way you film it.
Yeah,
That
it's
hallway
just
scene is a good example.
the setting.
Um,
Oh, the hallway scene with Punisher is really cool too. In the
yeah,
the
yeah,
cell, the cell block.
right.
That's really cool.
Because they use a lot of good. They use take advantage of lighting and of just the
Hmm.
imagery, and they do a good job of showing you things without telling you.
Exactly.
They're not. Daredevil can't see, but they're not like. I mean, they say it obviously, but they're not like he can't see, but he's fighting. They're like, it's like you see him kind of like, when he's walking into the building and sneaking around, you see him kind of like turning his head as if he's trying to listen in for
Yeah.
a specific sound. Little stuff like that makes it so much better. And I think that's kind of going to be our thing. We're just
Imagine if like that there was an intro monologue to that show that was like, um, I'm Matthew Murdoch. I cannot see, but what I can see is the injustice in this city. I fight by night. I fight injustice as Daredevil. By day as the lawyer Matthew Murdoch, or something like that. That wouldn't be as good.
no, because they're telling you. You got to show people stuff instead of telling them. I had to learn that,
Yeah.
in my creative writing journey, and it really, that cue really helps me every
Totally.
time when I'm trying to think of something, try to like, oh, how am I gonna? I'm not just gonna be like, and then she died.
Yeah, and unless
That
it's
that's not
like,
that's not real enough. That's not unless
hmm,
it's like, unless I'm like literally like explaining something that happened before the movie, or it's like,
exactly,
oh yeah, or the character's like, yeah, my mother died, and it's not like,
not
it's the
terribly
movie. The
important.
movie is not about the mother dying, so it's like,
Hmm.
you know, it's kind of like a callback. He's just like, oh yeah, my mom, she died when I was little. I'm not gonna show you that she died. There's no point in showing you that she died. It's not wildly important.
Well, yeah, one of the only contexts in which it's really acceptable in filmmaking to do like the monologue is if like you're introducing like a fantasy setting or a setting that's just so different from reality, like in Star Wars or Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Excuse me. And in Star Wars too, it's not even like 30 seconds. It's just some text like, "Hey, so and so's chasing so and so. They're part of this. They're part of this. Bada bing, bada boom." Like I got it. Okay, they're space wizards. Okay, all right, I'm in it. you know, the original cut of A New Hope had like it was like there was once the old Republic with the Jedi's, and then the old Republic fell when Palpatine, and it was like, and then there's a really good video on YouTube called like how the New Hope was saved by in the edit, and that was one of the things was like this is way too much exposition. Just say it's space wizards, Empire Station, the rebels, boom, that's all you need, and That's something that was really good about the original trilogy, and that's something that's good that any good film has. Because, like, with John Wick, right? I mean, I'm going to bet that there's nothing that really tells you, like, this is what John Wick did. This is what he did when he was a kid, and this is what he liked to do. And it's probably not that in depth. It's just like, yeah, he was a criminal. He was like a hitman, right? He was a hitman. He lives alone. He has a dog. They killed his dog. He didn't like that, so he goes and kills them all. Bada bing, bada
Right.
boom. That's all you need. Like, I mean, with Taken, right? I think they tell you, yeah, Liam Neeson's character was a CIA operative, and that's it. And that's all you need to know. Okay, yeah, he was a CIA guy, so he can fight. That's it. Otherwise, it's
Exactly.
just
That's all
like
you
his
need to know.
grandpa. That's just somehow is magically, good at martial arts.
But yeah, I think that's who we'll be. We're just like a filmmaker's filmmaker is what I like to say.
Yeah.
Something that I hope that I can do the same thing for other people that certain directors have done for me. Where I'm looking, and I'm like, I want to do what that guy did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to tell. I mean, I want to tell a great story, but but more than that, I want to make it look cool. It's got to look good. For me, style means everything in film.
Yeah.
You could be telling the most elaborate story ever, but if you're not, if it doesn't look cool, I'm gonna get like 3 minutes into the film and I'm never gonna watch it again.
Yeah.
But if you could tell a simple story, like those movies we just mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
you could tell a simple story, simple revenge story, or
Simple revenge story.
like Django, or like slave gets taught by a bounty hunter to be a bounty hunter, wants to get his wife back. That's not very hard to
Mm-hmm.
tell, but it's in the way you do it. It's the how and not necessarily the why that makes a film
That's something that I think the
great.
prequels, the Star Wars prequels, really failed at because the idea is cool. Okay, you have this Jedi who goes to war with his Jedi Master, and he kind of turns to the dark side over the three movies, and he turns up into being Darth Vader. That sounds like a cool idea, but the execution was so bad that it's like, well, how cool this idea is, it doesn't matter, which is pretty much what you just said, right? It's like
Right.
the execution is so important, so important. In writing, it's like this too, or with anything. So if we, I mean, we could certainly have a better execution with this, but it's pretty good. Like if it was just me and you talking with my like phone holding up like a selfie, and we're in the middle of like crowded McDonald's, right? This show wouldn't be nearly as enjoyable. The presentation is significant. We could be saying the same stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's really significant right there.
Yeah. Sometimes like the presentation can be really good, but the story or the core of it's just crap, and it's like, well, I don't.
Yeah, you got to find a good
Yeah.
balance. You got to find a
Yeah.
good balance for sure. But I do think presentation. I don't want to say matters more, but for me, it's very important.
I think pound for
Personally,
pound, it goes for further.
right. As another movie I like, Sin City.
Mm-hmm.
That movie gets me hooked every time because visually, it's something I have never seen before. I watch a lot of movies, and it's very unique in the way it presents itself in
Yeah.
the black and white style, and their storytelling is really unique too.
That.
Telling you the
Mm-hmm.
story from different perspectives, it all leads to one thing. But the stories themselves, not wildly like complicated. You don't have to
Okay. Yeah.
overcomplicate
Yeah.
things.
Well, like that's kind of a thing in marketing, right? Was building your brand. That's how they would call it. That's what they how. That's how we'd say it in Mexico. That's what they would call it. They call that building your brand, which is that's why I always go with Comic Sans. Everything's super yellow and super red, and that's it. That's everything that we do here because with all of the graphics because you want to build a brand and you want it to be consistent, and you want it to be aesthetically pleasing. Those are the two things that you want it to be consistent and pleasing. And I mean, I didn't come up with the yellow red thing, McDonald's does it and stuff. I didn't come up with Comic Sans either. But
Right.
it's got, and no one's come up with anything really. But you just got to it looks good and consistent, and that's how you do it. Like Sin City, oh, it looks cool and it's consistent. Like, I mean, if Sin City, if it was like the next, if it was like one story, one of the stories within the movie is like black and white noir, and then the next one was like it was like a it was shot like Gold Member or something. What's it called? Austin Powers Gold
Austin
Member.
Powers,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would like it wouldn't
That would
work.
throw you off
Yeah,
completely.
that'd be funny to do like, dude. That would be the biggest troll job of all time. You do like one movie and it's like the super serious gritty movie, and then the sequel to it, the trailer is presented that way, but you get into it and it's like, it's like a totally different tone.
That would be pretty funny to do, but
Like you do
yeah.
you do Noir Spider-Man and then you do the sequel and it's like him, but it's like this like Three Stooges like humor. Whoa! It's like you just totally ruined
Whoa,
this
whoa.
character. I finally got you now, Osborn. Bonk. And it's like, I need to read those. You need to read me some of the Noir Spider-Man comics.
Yeah, you do for sure. I need to read the freaking Sin City comics. I actually never got around to reading that.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it.
You should. It's on I believe it's on Netflix.
Let's see.
Or at least that's where I watched it. But if I had to give you a hierarchy of movies to watch, I'd probably say Drive, Sin City, and then and John Wick. Well, actually, maybe John Wick above Sin City, but I just like the style of Sin City. Like, look at that. That dude is yellow. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yellow. Oh, okay, I think I actually have access to CBS All Access, so maybe I'll check it out.
Make sure it's the first one and not a Dame to Kill For.
Oh, okay.
That one's not nearly
Oh, that's
as good.
bad. All right. Yeah, I don't think that I do sequels. I think I just tease
I,
them.
I like sequels, but sometimes the sequel is unnecessary. But
Okay,
it
yeah.
depends on how you do it. I remember I was watching Blade Runner 2049,
Mm-hmm.
which is a sequel to the first Blade Runner, but it's also not a sequel to the first Blade Runner. I mean, it takes place same universe. The main character from the first one is back, but he's not the main focus. It's about another. It's about another character, um, and it's kind of weird. You're just looking at how the world kind of functions and how his story was really insignificant, really.
Yeah, well,
But I mean, you can
mm-hmm.
do sequels
Okay, that's
well,
fair.
but
Well, then
it
maybe
depends on what you do.
the
The story's more
sequels.
about how the world works than
Mm-hmm.
him. It's not really about him.
Well, then maybe let me put it this way. Then do sequels, but they always have to be planned. If you're not planned it, don't do it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's when
that's the
sequels
rule.
are the worst. If you're not planning on already doing, if you're not like, okay, I'm making, like for example, a superhero film, you know you're making, for the most part, you know you're making another one unless it's like something ridiculous and the character just dies at the end.
Yeah.
But if you're like you're making a Batman or a Superman movie, you know you're making another one, so you better gear up for the sequel. But if
Mhm.
you're making your own original story and you don't plan on doing a sequel, and the studio approaches you and is like, "This is wildly successful, make a sequel," say no. I know,
Yeah, true, totally.
but also just know that when you say no, if the studio owns the rights to it, just know
They're just gonna
that they're
ruin
gonna
it.
have some bozo. They're just
Some
gonna have
bozo.
some bozo direct your movie, and ruin everything you did.
Hey, at least people will be like, you know what? It's a good thing that Jane Doe refused to do the sequel because that sequel was awful. you know. Um,
Right.
no.
That is one way to think about it. Because
Yeah.
I don't know. If you don't plan on doing a sequel, you probably shouldn't do it, unless you just come up with something that's just so genius. You're like, oh my god, I have to make the sequel.
Yeah, that's true, and that's of course the exception to the rule.
Right. But
Some
if you don't plan on it, just don't think about it.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
good.
because you can tell. He's like, okay, you guys did not set this up. You guys are just shoehorning this in.
Right.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, I recently beat Arkham City,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking, what would Thomas Wayne Batman do? This is the question that everyone should ask themselves, but you should never make a decision based off of it.
Yeah, whatever he would do, like go ahead
Probably.
and think about that, and then just do like the opposite.
Yeah, you know what? If Bruce Wayne Batman and Thomas Wayne Batman would do it, then maybe flip a coin and then and then um but like I was thinking because like wonder like the when Strange is like uh killing everyone. I was thinking that like Thomas Wayne Batman would have just waited, and then after he killed all the criminals, and he'd be like, "This city isn't big enough for the both of us," or something like that, and then he would just kill Hugo Strange, because it's like why let your enemies, let your enemies fight each other if they want to, that kind of a thing.
Right.
Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. So it's like, yeah, Thomas, like I was saying, like, would Thomas Wayne Batman even care about Arkham City? I don't even know if it would. You probably would have gotten to that point in Thomas Wayne Batman's universe. But
Right, because
like,
most of the characters would be dead.
exactly. But like, if somehow it did, I don't know what would his position be on it.
Yeah, I almost feel like he wouldn't care to an extent. I mean, well, let's say Hugo Strange still knows his identity as Batman. That gives him a reason to
That's
be
true.
in Arkham City. He's gonna be like, okay, well, I have to stop him from revealing this to everybody, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go in there. But the plan's different. Just I don't know what I really don't know what Bruce's plan was, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
because Hugo Strange just happened to die, and he's like, or he died, right?
Yeah,
Am I
he
mistaken?
was
Or
killed by Raish.
yeah, so he just happened to die. But in the beginning of the game, you already knew that he knew. Well, not beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but at some point, like
In the very
midway
beginning. Yeah,
point.
no, you're right. Yeah, it's
Oh,
in the beginning. So
you knew he
let me
knew.
refresh you.
So Hugo
Yeah.
would be like, so Thomas would just be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna. My whole mission is to. He's gonna infiltrate there,
Yeah.
probably same way Bruce did,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And but except the mission changes. He's not gonna be like, I'm figure out what the Joker's doing and stop all this, blah blah blah. He's like, I'm here to kill Hugo Strange. Anybody else that gets in the way is gonna die, and that's it.
Yeah, that would be like a 20-minute game. It'd be the top of, yeah. I mean, yeah. What you said though about what Bruce's plan was, that's an interesting component to it because so like the implication is that Arkham City's open up. Bruce Wayne is against it, yeah, and Batman is against it too. So Bruce Wayne enters politics to try to stop it, like as Bruce Wayne as opposed to as Batman. And then it's like, okay, I guess that could have worked. So after he gets in it as Batman, then he's like, oh, Hugo Strange said this thing about Protocol 10. So it's got to be evil. I guess he already knows that Hugo Strange is like not a good guy. But then I don't know, just I guess it was pursuing Protocol 10 and then he got some things got in the way. But it seemed like
Yeah,
though
yeah.
that like maybe he could prioritize it, but I guess Bruce Wayne Batman is so like ideological that he's like, I don't care. I know this is something that's happened that's messed up, so I have to stop that now.
Right.
But Thomas Wayne, even if Thomas Wayne Batman was kidnapped like that as Thomas Wayne, he would have just been like, I gotta figure out what Protocol 10 is. I don't care about that you're gonna die, Victor. I mean, well, maybe not Victor, but I don't care what Penguin's up to. Like, I got better things to do. Like,
Right.
you're like, yeah, Riddler's got some people. Okay, well, Protocol 10
That
might kill,
sucks.
yeah, millions of people. So, yeah, dude, Riddler too. Like, I don't even know. Like, that would be interesting. Like, so how would Thomas Wayne Batman deal with Riddler?
Right. I'm assuming he's not the same detective
Yeah,
that Bruce
he
is,
wouldn't be as
but
good. I don't think he'd be as good.
I feel like even all right, let's say he figures out the Riddler's puzzle. I feel like if the all right, let's say the Riddler's first puzzles or whatever is not endangering anybody, at most he's just gonna take him to jail, like Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna kill him if he's not hurting anybody,
That's
right?
true. Yeah, but if he's
But
like,
after a while,
yeah,
well, if he's endangering Thomas's life, but if the Riddler is the way that we know him,
mm-hmm.
if he's endangering anybody's life, including Thomas's life,
Yeah,
he's
Thomas
like,
killed
okay,
him.
well, I'm just gonna kill you.
Well, he's gonna do it
He's gonna be
again.
like, you caught me this time, Batman, but next time I'll defeat you. He's like, there's not gonna be a next time, and then just kills him.
Yeah, I love the idea of like somehow the mind switch in like the middle of Bruce Wayne Batman's night, and it's just Thomas Wayne going out, and or like the body switch, and then like he's like, "I'll get you next time, Batman." He's like, "There won't be a next time." He's like, "Wait, what?" And then just boom, like that's just
There's a
cool idea.
storyline recently. It was horrible, but
Oh, okay.
Thomas Wayne actually made it to the to the main DC
Yeah, yeah.
universe.
I think we talked about this.
Oh yeah, so it would be fun.
Yeah.
I wish we would have seen outside of the really stupid Bane storyline they were
Mm-hmm.
doing. I wish they would have seen him interact with villains and be like, Batman, what's with the new costume? And he stops them. They're like, oh my gosh, Batman, I'll get you next time. And he just freaking kills them.
Yeah. He's like, good thing. He's like, Joker's like, it's like, one of these days I'll get you to break your one rule, and then, Batman's like, I don't play by any rules. She's like, wait, what? Something. He's like, laugh all you want, Joker. Breaks his neck. I liked. So I noticed in Night of Vengeance, Thomas Wayne Batman just walks into a bar and asks them questions. Is that normal? Is that like something that Bruce Wayne Batman does? Just walks into places and asks them stuff. That doesn't seem like something that he would do.
He does sometimes, but he's a lot more covert than Thomas. He can't be Bruce Wayne doing that. He has like a lot of different aliases and disguises he uses. He has one
Oh.
character called Matches Malone that he uses, and he'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, he'll disguise himself as Matches Malone and be like, hey, what's the word, guys? I mean, well, think about it. You're Bruce Wayne, except you're a billionaire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing in this seedy bar? Nobody's gonna answer your questions. You look like a
Ah.
cop. But Thomas Wayne,
Wait, how do you
he's
spell
known as a
Malone?
matches. So it's matches, like no matches with a
Oh,
T.
I just spelled it wrong. Oh, I
Well,
see.
yep. That's
It's just Bruce Wayne
he
with a
wears like
mustache.
a little mustache. Yep.
No. But yeah, I mean, I guess even if it's Thomas Wayne going in there, they might just, well, mention Malone. That's kind of funny. Yeah, well, I guess that's something I was thinking about too. Was like, people obviously are gonna be trying to figure out who Batman is in the Flashpoint universe. They
Right.
gotta they gotta think that Thomas Wayne's connected somehow. I mean, I always think that
Maybe.
about Bruce
Well,
Wayne too, but that's.
I think. Well, Bruce. So I saw in year one, he plays
Hmm.
it off though. Like Commissioner in year one, Commissioner Gordon was like, he basically figured it out. He was like, Bruce Wayne's the only person who could be Batman. He arrived.
Yeah.
The Batman arrived. He has all this free time, all this money, these resources. He has to be Batman. But then so Commissioner Gordon came in, right? And then Bruce was like, he was like acting like he was like really drunk and had a bunch of women over.
Hmm.
And he was like, oh yeah, I've been partying with them all night. And he was just acting so like unseemly that Commissioner Gordon was like, yeah, there's literally no way this guy would be Batman.
What if
But
he was like,
with Thomas, maybe it's like Thomas is the casino owner guy, right? The
exactly?
guy that
Yeah.
people think he's corrupt and everything. So maybe they might assume he's Batman, but they're not gonna ask him the question. They don't know if he's just gonna like break their legs or
I
something.
was thinking that maybe they would think that Batman's like a thug that Thomas Wayne hires.
Mm. Like how people thought. I mean, in the first Iron Man movie where he was like, "Oh yeah, Iron Man's my bodyguard" or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was Thomas Wayne, I'd play into that. I'd be like, "Yeah, Batman's my bodyguard.
Better not.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm never around when he's around, and he's always seems to be protecting me. He's my bodyguard."
Uh, yeah, he's my goon. He's my top goon. There's Cobblepot, and then there's Batman. You know.
Yep, he's my enforcer.
Yeah.
He's the muscle.
Oh no, maybe it'd just be like I can neither confirm nor deny that. And so
Maybe,
yeah, some I was thinking
go ahead.
too is that like Gotham security, they so what to what extent do like the beat cops know like you don't mess with Batman? Like, is Gordon tell them straight up just let Batman do whatever he wants? So do they think, oh well, I guess he's just on the payroll too? Like,
Oh, that's an interesting question. Maybe they. Well, you have to think though. Maybe they don't. They may not know his motives, right? This Batman murders people. It's not like
mm-hmm.
Bruce Wayne Batman who beats people up. So maybe the regular beat cops are like, they might see him and they may be like, I don't get paid enough to try to take this guy out. I'm
Oh
just gonna leave him alone.
yeah,
I,
mm-hmm.
I think I certainly would think like that. I'd be like, I don't get
Yeah.
paid enough to fight this guy
I mean, if this
who's
guy,
literally
yeah.
who kills people.
I mean,
He
this guy is
literally
like,
murders people.
this guy is killing the people I'm going after, making my job easier. If he can kill 10 criminals in a room, there's no way I can take him. So,
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
even that. Yeah, he's making my life way easier. Why would I want to eliminate him?
yeah,
He's helping me. My
and
job is so easy. It's so much safer.
exactly. And something I was thinking about was that like so if the casino in the Flashpoint universe is designed to draw criminals in, that means that crime must be to some extent allowed there, just logically. So does Gotham Security, is it just like you just don't touch the Wayne Casino? So they must all think that Thomas Wayne just buy. He might even own Gotham Security. So is that just the
Yeah, I think
thing?
he does, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Well, he works with them extensively,
yeah.
so I think
So
he just owns them. So they probably just leave him alone because it's Gotham Security. But
yeah,
also, I mean, well, sure, they might believe that he draws in criminals and all that. It's designed to draw in criminals. They can't just bust the place down for no reason. So
mm-hmm.
that's another thing. They can't just be like, we think you're doing something, so we're just going to
Oh, okay.
get in there. And maybe when they try to get a warrant, um, Dent stops them because Dent knows that
Yeah,
he
there's
works with Gotham
and
Security.
all the other
So
ones are on
Dent,
the payroll anyway. So
right? So Dent probably just stops them.
okay, yeah, I see that makes sense. And Den's kind of like iffy on it too, because he's so um, idealistic.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I was think so. I have this idea in mind that like, um, so let me back up. So, are you familiar with the Sons of Anarchy series?
Yes, I don't watch it, but I'm familiar.
So one of the things that they do is like when they're gonna meet with other gangs is that they go to like casinos and Indian reservations and they book like halls, and that's because like the jurisdiction makes it such that like they're not gonna get busted there, and they're like friends with the they bribe more or less the tribal council or whatever. So I was thinking that like, what if that's like a thing that Bruce Wayne Batman does? Is that like everybody knows that Gotham Security just does, as long as you don't make too much of a ruckus, you can pretty much do whatever you want in the Wayne casinos. So especially as long as you're gambling. And so maybe they meet up there. So I was thinking that like maybe like in the finale of our Thomas Wayne Batman show that we're coming up with, is that the two last crime families, the leadership, they meet up in the Gotham casino. I don't know, maybe this wouldn't be a cool idea, but I have this idea in my head, and Batman just shows up, and he walks in there, just straight up, and like I have this idea of like this one of the security guards or something. He's like grabs his gun, and the other security guard like puts his hand on the other guy. He's like, "No, dude, just don't. Like, you don't even want to get involved in this." And that,
Right.
like, and maybe he's like a new guy. He's like, "No, dude, just don't." And so he goes, and so Batman like goes into like the meeting hall, or maybe he falls in from the top, like how he does in the Arkham games, and he just dead eyes him. Maybe he's got like some sort of machine gun or something, just or whatever, however it works, and he just takes him. It's just this huge bloodbath in the casino like thing. I don't know. That just seemed like a cool visual to me.
It would be, yeah.
Let me see if I'm remembering the name of this gun right. Yeah, I have. So this is like a gun that's like it's kind of old, ugly but effective. But like it's kind of like a machine gun, but it's like one of the most portable machine guns there are. And I was kind of thinking like, because I saw the Grim Knight and I was like, that's not portable, because like the Grim Knight isn't gonna be able to like be running around like Bruce
No.
like normal Batman does, but Thomas Wayne Batman does. So I was just kind of thinking like maybe he would have a gun like this that he can like maybe it's all kind of like, so if we go up here, hold up, so you can see how the what's this called, the shoulder rest, kind of maybe that comes off, and the magazine obviously isn't just going to be in there the whole time, and so or like the shoulder rest kind of folds up. Maybe that's what he would have. That's what he would use if there's a bunch of people or something. Just kind of
Right.
like a small little detail idea. Because of course he's got
Oh
the
yeah, that would
pistols,
be good.
but yeah, I don't know. I guess keeps it on his back or something, or keeps it like on his um, leg. I don't even know. Maybe it's just kind of like I think in Batman the Animated Series they do this. It's just it just kind of appears, like the logistics of it is never really explained or showed.
I mean, hey, it's comic books. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess the whole thing's ridiculous anyway.
You watched Batman the Animated Series? I'm assuming then.
I've seen a significant component of it like 4 years ago.
Okay, well, have you seen the other series, like the other animated series in
No,
that universe? Okay, well, I was
I
gonna
didn't know there
ask you a
was.
question, but I guess I can't really.
I see.
Well, okay, so there's Batman, there's Superman, there's Justice League,
Mm-hmm. I didn't even
Justice
know.
League Unlimited, and then there's Batman Beyond. I
Oh,
can't
I've
believe you
seen.
never. Oh man, those series are so great. Um, yeah, but I saw this thing on Instagram where somebody's like, "That's the most like comic book accurate, like you know universe that we've had." And I
Mm-hmm.
honestly agree with that. They did a really good job,
Yeah.
and I think it kind of shows that you can be comic book accurate without being boring or being stuck doing this, telling the same stories. You could do unique things. Freaking Batman Beyond was a wholly unique idea. That wasn't a comic book at first. They created it, and then it got rolled over to the comics. Same thing with Harley Quinn. There was
Oh
no Harley
yeah, that's
Quinn
right.
before Batman the Animated Series, and then the origin of Mister Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Batman the Animated Series was the one that made Mister Freeze the sympathetic character he's known as today.
Yeah.
Before he was just
Some
some
weird
kind of
guy.
weird, yeah, just some weird guy. So I mean, there's a lot of great things that came out of those animated series. I actually really enjoy Batman Beyond.
I, I just love Batman the Animated Series. I love like I guess I just love Batman because you have like the darkness of like, you know, you have the darkness, and but you also have like the charming Bruce Wayne thing, the stuff between Alfred and Bruce. You have how cool it is how he takes people out, how like nonchalant he always is. The villains
Right.
are presented in a cool way. I mean, some of them like kind of look silly, but that's fine. I mean, of course they look silly. The Batman villains.
Yeah, I think they look silly, but they did some really cool stuff, like the Clayface episodes where he first appeared, and was insane. And the Clayface episode where with Robin and the new Batman adventures was like insane, dude. Like Robin thought so. There's this piece of Clayface that was like a little girl,
Oh yeah.
but like they didn't know, and Robin was treating her like a real little girl, and he finds out later, and she basically had to like die, like she had to recombine with the rest of Clayface because she became that piece actually became like
Oh,
sentient. It
I
was
see
like
what you're
had her own
saying.
thoughts. It was it was crazy. And the first Clayface episode was scary,
Mm-hmm.
where Batman was showing him all the characters that he played, and he was like, I don't know what to do. Um, there's some really good moments from the Batman side of it in the Justice League. I remember I think we watched the scene where Batman had to kill that, or I told you about it, where he had to kill that girl.
You did.
Remember? Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. You got to see that on your own time if you want to. Justice League was amazing, by the way. Um, but there's some really good part. Like they finished up the Batman Beyond storyline
Mm-hmm.
because it was revealed that Batman Beyond was actually a project created by Amanda Waller, and she, by some future technology, she actually so Terry's mother was actually like injected with some his father rather was injected with some of Bruce's DNA. So when the child was born, um, it was actually Bruce's child and not his. So Batman Terry is actually related to is Bruce's son.
That's pretty
Um,
whack.
yeah, she did that because she's like, oh, the world always needs a Batman. But the story of Batman Beyond was crazy because obviously Bruce developed a Batman Beyond suit because he was getting too old,
Oh, I
right?
see. Okay, okay.
He was getting too old and he was using the suit, and it came to a point where he was fighting a criminal and he was about to get beat up and he was about to lose. He was about to die, and he reached for a gun and he pointed it at the criminal like he was going to shoot him,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then Bruce, he eventually, he doesn't shoot him and he beats the criminal up. But Bruce is like, oh my God, I've almost done the one thing I swore never to do. So he quits the Batman Beyond project. He doesn't do it again. Terry finds out about it somehow, and he, guess because he's his son, and he becomes the new Batman Beyond, and Bruce kind of guides him. But there's a really cool moments in there, like the return of the Joker in the beginning of the first like 20 minutes of that movie. It's like the darkest thing they've ever done in that universe. Basically, the Joker was torturing Tim Drake, um, and
Yeah.
and he was mentally torturing him and physically abusing him, trying to turn him into like a Joker Junior, right?
Right.
and he succeeded. And Bruce came in. He's, oh my god, what happened? And then he tried to turn him back, right? And then at the end, Tim Drake actually ends up shooting the Joker, like just full on. He shoots him and he kills him.
What?
Um, yeah, and it was pretty dark for a kids cartoon.
Yeah.
He just full on shoots him and he kills him. But the Joker returns, and they all think it's the original Joker, but it's actually Tim Drake. But
Mm.
Batman Beyond was really, it was a really cool and unique idea. I liked him being his son, because it wasn't like a direct thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it brought, like, towards the end of the Justice League episodes, it brought some interesting conversations. Like Bruce made Terry some soup, and Terry's like, "I'll eat it after I come back from patrol." And then Bruce is like, "Oh, you're so stubborn." He's like, "Yep, just like my old man." It's
That is
just
kind of
really
cute.
cool. Yeah, it has some really cool moments in there. Um, but and it also shows how like warped people's perspective of Bruce really is. He was talking to Amanda Waller about it when he found out that Bruce is his father, and how Amanda Waller actually set up his father getting murdered. Um, and he was like, he saw Bruce as like just cold, the same way everybody sees him, cold,
Yeah.
vengeful, doesn't care about anybody. And so Amanda told him the story about how he had to kill that little girl, and how, like, showing that Bruce is more of a people
Yeah,
person,
he's a lot
which I
more.
think
Yeah, a lot more personable
he's a
than
lot more
than meets the eye.
personal than people.
Give him credit for.
Exactly. And I think that, yeah, I think they're missing a lot of that in the movies. Um,
Well, it's because
like
we
we
haven't
get to see
gotten
how
a
cool Batman
Batman.
is.
Yeah, yeah. So because the last Batman movie we've really gotten is the Christopher Nolan movies, and I mean,
Right.
he kind of has the hots for Catwoman,
Right.
but I don't know. He's kind of like he kind of. I mean, he kind of has a cool relationship with Lucius Fox.
Yeah, that stuff is cool, but I've always wanted to see him, like, I don't know, like seeing the way Batman treats like children and how nice he is to them, and well, how much he cares about people
Yeah.
in general. Stuff that people don't get. They don't just assume. Even him, even he gives off that he thinks of himself that way. Like, I remember he's talking about who would win in a fight between him and Superman, and he
Mhm.
was essentially saying that, like, Clark could kill him with one breath if he wanted to, but the reason why he stands a chance is because Superman is inherently a good person while he's not.
Oh.
Even he believes these little myths about himself, which is, I think, is kind of interesting. Even though that's not true at all. I mean, he's not Clark is not a better person than Bruce really at all. They're the same kind of guy. They're both
Yeah.
very personal guys. Side note, and I really like the Batman Beyond skin in Arkham City. Just a side
I
note,
do too. Yeah.
I love that.
I
But
tend to go with the Batman Incorporated skin.
I love the Batman ink skin too,
Mhm.
which that was a cool Batman story too. I'm not gonna get into it,
Mhm.
but I like that skin. I usually go with the Sinestro one. I
Oh.
thought that one was pretty fire. Um, and I usually go Batman Beyond too. I mess with my guy Terry. I like the animated TV show skins. Those are really fun.
I feel like it's kind of weird looking at like Batman Beyond, because like you can see like all of his muscles and like his butt from behind. I don't
I
know. It
get
feels
it.
too much. I like the cape.
That's the part that I like.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Nah, nah, but I like how the little wings come out when he
Yeah,
does the
I like that
gliding.
too. I like that. Um,
Um, it's just a really cool touch. I like that skin. I'm trying to remember all the skins that are in there. I remember I really like the Sinestro one. Um, Forgive me if I'm forgetting a lot of them. I know they had the Blackest Night one. He was like a zombie looking dude.
yeah. Well,
I believe.
mine didn't
I
have
think
that.
no, or was it the white? Or was it the white one? I
Let's see.
forget. I thought they had. I like the Frank Miller one they have in there too, but he's just a little too buff for me. That
What
one right there. Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
Dark Knight
That
Returns
one
one
right
or
there.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
What
He is a
else?
little too. This is
The
the
Sinestro one is good.
yeah. The
Oh,
Sinestro one is shown on here.
that the '70s one.
Yeah,
I'll
I
always be
like this.
partial to
I
the
like
'70s.
that
I
one. Yeah,
love, for some
the
reason, I
blue.
just love that blue. It just looks great on Batman.
Blue. Who's the Owl
Blue.
Man? Okay. Yeah.
I wish that was in the game.
Owl Man.
Uh, I love Owlman. I mean, I don't love Owlman. I think he's cool. Arkham Knight had
That's
the
what.
my favorite skin in Arkham Knight was the the Dick Grayson Batman skin they had in Arkham Knight. I'll always be a fan of that as well.
Let's see. Batman Arkham Knight. Well, so it's just two skins in general.
Yeah, they have some really good ones here, but the Batman Beyond one and this one is actually really bad in my opinion. Yeah, they had a lot of
Thomas
the movie
Wayne.
ones.
You already
that
know.
Thomas Wayne one is sick. Yeah, I know you like that one. It is sick. That's
Yeah.
that's one of the best ones. The one next to it, the new 52 one.
It's okay.
It just looks too plasticky to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Was it Tim Burton Batman or what is what's going on here?
Yeah. Tim Burton, then
Cool.
Christopher Nolan, then Batman v Superman.
I like the
Then
Christopher Nolan one, honestly. It's not
to
bad.
the far right
That's
is
the
the
240% when you do everything,
no,
right? Oh.
that's the Batman Beyond one, and I don't like that. I like the original looking Batman Beyond. I mean, it looks cool for what it is, but I wish they wouldn't call it the Batman Beyond skin. It just looks kind of weird.
I think so too. This is like the Thomas Wayne Batman Beyond. That's what this is.
Now that's what I like to see. All right, Terry, now shoot him in the face.
Terry.
Let me see, but
Thomas
they have
Wayne's
other
like in a
skins there.
wheelchair. He's like, he's old, right? He's got like Ivy. Terry, shoot him.
Shoot him.
What?
We don't do that. Yeah, you do now. They had the 70s one and this one. Let me see if they keep going down. Let me see what other ones they got. Okay, there it is. It was in that one. That picture you passed. Yeah, that one. So the one to the next to the 70s one is the Dick Grayson one.
Oh,
I love that suit.
that's not
I
bad.
don't know why. I like that night. I like that Robin suit too.
That's not
Oh
bad.
man, that reminds me because I used to have that Robin comic where he used to dress like that.
Mhm.
Man, that was good times.
Did you lose it or something?
Yeah, I don't know what I did with it,
Okay. Let's see.
but
Should be able to look at all of them.
oh, it's showing you
Okay.
all of them. Okay, that's
Yeah,
great.
what's it? I don't know why it doesn't. It's not loading.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it has that one.
It's regular.
That's a cool take on the original, Arkham City game one. I didn't like the new suit that he got. Am I the only one?
Really,
That
I
one right
liked
there?
it. Yeah, I like this.
I mean, I
one.
thought it was cool. I mean, but I honestly would have worn the Arkham City one.
Huh?
I don't know. I
Oh,
I
yeah.
got to a point where it's like I kind of like the costumes, the underwear. You know, I don't know why.
The underwear.
That
Okay, yeah.
that one again looks a little too
Yeah,
plasticky to me.
plasticky.
That one,
Yeah, that one's
it's
weird.
cool, but I just don't like. I never liked that suit anyway.
Yeah, same.
So
It's like the neck.
of course,
Of course, Thomas
yeah.
Wayne. The red though,
no,
and the
now I
holsters.
mean, we joke, but it's rad. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it is rad.
You can't tell me that's not cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I don't know if that actually is your favorite one. If you said that,
I don't
would
think
be
it
mad
is.
because
Yeah. I don't know. I'll
yeah,
decide
I wouldn't
after
say that.
see them all.
but it is sick. It is sick. You can't tell me it's not.
I think it's this one and the Azrael one are tied in my mind.
Oh,
Because they both encapture like so you have the ridiculousness of the super serious, super fearful one, and then you also have the super like this is just as colorful and as ridiculous as it can be.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. That
The Azrael, yeah,
that one is crazy.
anime
It's
Batman.
not. It's Zur-En-Arrh. That's the one you're talking about.
Oh,
Anime Batman.
no,
I
no,
don't
not
even
this
know
one.
where that's from.
I don't know this.
Oh, I thought.
I haven't
talking about-
seen this one.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about this one.
No,
Okay,
no.
no. Okay, yeah, you are talking about the Azrael Batman.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Just super 90s.
Yeah, it's super 90s.
Yeah, that is crazy.
This is weird. What's going? What's what's going on with that?
Read that. Just read the description. It's kind of weird.
It's
I can't even
fake,
tell.
the backup
It's a backup personality.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
Bat Knight is a fourth dimensional imp. That's all I remember.
Oh,
He's
okay.
got like same. Again, that 70s
Makes
one.
sense.
I always love that.
I'll give me some fourth
Arkham Origins
dimensional.
skin. This one, this Arkham Origins one is I think is actually better than the actual Arkham Origins one. It's a lot darker, but that belt's gold. It's
Let's see.
just clean. That's a clean suit right there.
I think we're going with Tor from now on, because gotta support Tor. Okay. Okay, so this is the original. Okay. Oh, the original, yeah, Arkham Origins one. Oh, whoops. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that one better personally. I'm not saying I make the laws,
Okay.
but
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
to me, it's just cool. I mean, well, I do make the laws of. Yep, and then I gotta respect my man Dick Grayson Batman.
It doesn't seem to indicate that it is actually. Oh, Bat Family Skin Pack. Okay, so yeah.
I mean, it just looks like it. Just based on what I'm seeing, it just that's what I'm gathering.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't have. It's not really blue, so. But I've heard people say that it looks like it, especially with the gauntlets on the hand. It's the same kind of design that the
I
original
I
Batman
can see
had.
that. I can see that. I like the first. I like
First
year
appearance.
one.
I always will like the first appearance Batman. I don't know why the purple gloves just do something. I don't
It
know what it
looks
is.
funny. Yeah.
It, they should bring that into the movies. They gotta reference it at least some point
Because it little
where
because
he's just like,
mm-hmm.
they're just like put these on. He's like, no, I'll look stupid or something like that.
Looks like he. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like he should be like finding the gloves that he wants to wear, and he's like, "This doesn't work." And he throws it back, throws it away, and then gets the black ones. I like because this is like what if you had just had a muscular dude and you just put him in some tights. This is what it would look like, you know.
Right. Exactly. Dark Knight.
I think
I
this
don't
one's
like
good.
this one.
Oh, okay.
I like the one from City better
Oh, I
because
do too.
it looks more. I don't know. They just lean more into the comic book
That's true.
esque look of it. This one he just looks kind of just weird.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, we
Was
already
this
agreed.
one?
This one isn't that good.
Yeah,
Arkham City one's
no.
way
I
better.
know they tried to do their thing, but nah, brother.
I'm not really much of a fan of the original Arkham one either.
Really, I love it, dude.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's great. I mean, it's just classic Batman look. Got the
Sure.
underwear on.
I think this one. I
Uh,
kind of like this one.
I used to play in that one a lot.
Yeah.
I do love the Batman v Superman look. I really think it was cool.
I didn't know this one was it. This is the best one.
This one, I don't know why. It looks like they took off like 70% of his muscles. Maybe it's because of how high the belt and the underwear is. It just looks like he's just like an average build guy.
I
You
think they
know?
did take off his muscles because that's what that's what he looked like in the classic
Yeah,
series.
which is why it makes it look so good.
That's just why it's funny. Like, dude, I would love to play as this with this skin, just going around like beating people up.
I
It's so
wish they could
ridiculous.
have like they should have leaned more into it and just be like every time you counter or punch somebody, be like pow,
Dude,
whack,
that would have been amazing.
bam. That would have been so cool. I know they had the car in the game too, which I thought was cool.
Or at the very or at the very least, like how whenever you're beating up the last guy, it almost looks like a cutscene. At the very
Right.
least, they should have made that one have the POW.
Yeah, that would have been so cool. Justice League, yeah, man. Justice League 3000. This one's all right.
See, I can't even really see that. So
Mm. You.
oh wow, yeah, that looks amazing. That looks cool, dude.
Yeah, it's in the future, in the far future.
This is kind of like what I imagine. This is kind of maybe this would be another way that the Thomas Wayne Batman Beyond would look.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, no, dude.
I don't know. I feel like a Batman Beyond is not Batman Beyond without covering his mouth, but that's just
Okay,
me.
okay. Well,
But I think a Thomas Wayne Batman Beyond would be a combination of the other Batman Beyond
hmm
we saw and this,
yeah,
but like more guns.
true, true. So wait. So if we think about it like in the lore, right? So if Bruce Wayne was made the suit and then he turned on the guy, of course Thomas Wayne wouldn't have had that dilemma. So maybe this is the suit that Thomas Wayne had when he was getting old. Then when he just got so old, right? When he's like 80, he's 70 or 60 or something. Then that's when Terry, takes on the role, and then he has the slightly different one, which is like more like the Batman Beyond one.
Ah,
And
yeah, you
yeah,
could do it like that.
yeah. I just can't even see this one. I don't even remember. I don't know. This one doesn't even look that good.
Oh no, this is the Earth 2 Thomas Wayne skin.
Is it-
Earth 2 Thomas
Oh,
Wayne rocks too. It's a different Earth, but he still rocks. It was actually so the story of
that's
Earth
not
2
bad.
Thomas Wayne
Mm-hmm.
is like him and Bruce survived. So Bruce was Batman first,
Oh, okay.
and then Bruce died, and then Thomas was like, I'm like let's say Bruce is like 30. Thomas was like, that's the Bruce Wayne one. So let's say Bruce is like 30. Thomas is like, I'm 60. And I'm Batman now.
I'm
I think he
Batman.
like it was explicitly said that he takes like a Titan or something to keep up.
That was something I was thinking about. Like with Titan. Well, not I didn't think about Titan. Titan would work, but I was thinking because he's a doctor. Like, what if he has like an IV thing in the suit, and like he's like, I got this. He takes like a shot of adrenaline and puts it in the suit, and then he just starts pumping, doo, 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 and like you hear his
I think
heartbeat.
yeah.
He's like
I
doing the
think he take a
adrenaline.
lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think he definitely take like TRT, just testosterone replacement
Oh yeah, dude.
therapy. I think you take a lot of TRTs just so he can retain the amount of free testosterone he had when he was younger, so he could still be active
Dude,
and as strong as he was.
he takes steroids and shit. He's like he has
Yeah, no,
roids.
I definitely think Thomas Wayne Batman would take steroid.
God damn it, Gordon!
He's just getting all mad.
He's in the casino and Copot's like, oh, profits are down 20%. He takes the blackjack table and he just throws it across the. Ah! What are you looking at? I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. But yeah, dude, I love this idea, dude. Like taking steroids and adrenaline, and I don't even know, because he's a doctor, and why wouldn't he? He's already has a death wish.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
yeah, he'd be taking a bunch of TRT, testosterone.
He's like, how are you 60 and you don't have any white hair? He's like, I don't know what he would say, but it'd be because of
genetics.
genetics.
He'd be like, I'm a doctor. It's genetics.
I'm a doctor.
I wasn't a big fan of this one, to be honest.
I'm not either. Too much green.
It's just weird. Yeah, that's what it is. You know, I never put my finger on why I didn't like it, but I think that might be it. Too much green.
There you go.
This one, I'm always gonna love this one.
Yeah. Okay. I like the gold. The gold belt.
I don't know why the big bulky belt just does something to me. It's just great. And then that was the.
Not bad.
Oh yeah, I like the original Tim Drake Robin costume. It's a great costume in general.
Yes.
Now that's the best one.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Not bad.
Nightwing didn't have too many. I like the New 52 skin, but yeah. But it sucks. Nightwing didn't have that many, but Nightwing doesn't have that many skins.
Yeah.
I mean, skins. He doesn't have that many costumes in general.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not too much they could have done with him. I mean, but they could have added the old school Nightwing costume. Well, it's like a 70s or something. Nightwing's first costume. It was like a disc. It's called like Nightwing disc. It's like a disco costume. Nightwing. Let me see, disco. Yeah, Nightwing disco suit. They could have added that. I don't know. It's not a good looking suit at all, but
you could add it in for the legacy. Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, just start at. It's a ridiculous looking suit.
Yes.
Come on now. I think that's what we were missing. We were also missing. I think they robbed us. So Nightwing used to have a mullet. I think they robbed us of him not having a mullet.
Dude, this is the one we needed.
Yeah. See, look at that mullet right there. Man's is a goat.
Yep.
Nightwing mullet, goated, legendary.
Oh, whoops. I just actually cut
I can't even think of it. Too many other skins not skins, costumes that he had. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, Nightwing's just gonna wear.
Yeah, I like the original Arkham Nightwing outfit.
Yeah, that's the one I usually run with.
Yeah.
They have a new series going on called Future State. I mean, his Future State costume is all right, but it's still basically the same thing. It's just, little blue thing, all that. It's just you don't really need to change too much with Nightwing.
You don't need to.
Keep it basic.
I don't think this one's bad, but I don't really like it that much either.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one I'd play in, but it's not that bad.
Okay.
Sorry, I almost dropped my laptop.
It's all good. This one's not too bad. This one looks kind of 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's the 60s live action show. I didn't even realize that she was in that one.
Catwoman just also is another character that doesn't have that many suits. Well, she has a couple, but they're all relatively the same.
It's not too much variation you can have.
Yeah.
I always hated this one.
They could have added the... Oh, yeah, I didn't like that. The Mark II one?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Joker-mobile.
Now, that was sick. I wish you could use it in the game, but...
Yeah.
So this is not the 60s one I was talking about. Because this is trash. I mean, it's not trash, but it's just like low effort,
That's kind of
the prototype one. I think it's cool, but, it is what it is. The themed ones are not as good.
It's okay.
The Riddler one,
that's weird.
Trash. The Robin one,
that's weird.
Trash. Now these ones are tough. Look at that.
Yes.
And then, now that's what I'm talking about right there. That's a car. That is a man's car right there.
That is cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
This is the Bat Tank. This is the Bat Tank.
Exactly. That is the Bat Tank. No, that's the Bat Tank.
That's the Bat Tank. Yeah.
with the turrets on the front that don't kill people. Okay.
It's non-lethal.
I I always thought like Batman. I don't know. I mean, I like the whole Batting thing, but I always think that he would have like more of a, like in the new movie, like more of like a sports car look, or even like the '60s, like a sports car kind of look.
Yeah.
Something sleek, something
This one's
fast that
not
you can
bad.
catch people
The
in.
1989
Yeah,
one
yeah,
really isn't bad.
stuff like that. Like, I mean, that just look fast, not that don't look like a giant just hunk of metal just rolling down the street.
Because I don't really think that. Because it's like there would be
It
so much collateral
serves
damage.
exactly.
Yeah,
It serves no purpose. It does more harm than it does good.
yeah. I like to think that like Batman has like some mechanic that helps him like design this car and like it polishes it up and maintains it.
Right.
Or maybe he does it. I don't know. Can't. I mean, I don't know. He probably shouldn't do it so much. Let's see what else. I have on the docket. So I was trying to figure. Do you even understand how the impeachment stuff works?
In terms of what? Like, there's
I know the basic thing, but I don't. Can they put the president in prison?
I think that so my mom explained it to me. I think that they could have impeached him and tried to put him in prison, but the issue was that when he was still president, he could have just pardoned himself,
Mm-hmm.
or at least he would have tried. So I think they're probably just waiting for him to not be president to fully go through the process of throwing him in jail. At least
Okay.
that's how I understand it. I could be totally wrong, and I'm okay with that. Do I think he should go to jail? Yeah.
I think so too. I think at the very least it would be cool because, and let me explain why.
Our first president ever to go to jail.
Exactly. I wonder if he would just get. I wonder what would happen to him. I guess he'd probably be in really protective custody if they did that anyway.
Yeah, no,
Just
he'd
put him
be
in Gen Pop.
separated.
Like,
Oh my god, if they put him in general population, he'd die.
okay, so if he gets convicted, which I don't know if he will, so what happens? So he gets. He immediately removes the defendant from office. Yeah. Senate may vote also bar the individual from holding office. Yep. Senate taking the position that disqualification votes only require a simple majority. Okay. Senate uses qualification sparingly. The only three individuals have been disqualified from holding future office. Conviction does not extend to further punishment. For example, loss of pension after conviction by the Senate. The party convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to law. The regular federal state courts. Ah. Which provides does not extend to presidency removed. Okay. So this means that
They can't put him in jail, right?
No. It means he can be put in jail. The idea is like after you get impeached, then you don't have presidential protection anymore. Which I don't even know why the presidents have protection anyway. But anyway, so they do. So I guess after you're impeached, then that's when you can be actually arrested. That's what this says anyway. But maybe it's not because it does need some more citations. But did you hear about the stuff with Google Stadia? Whoops.
No, I didn't even know they were still doing that.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's kind of going down it's circling the toilet bowl.
Well, see, here's the thing with that though. Whenever a Google project fails, they'll literally just abandon it. So that's why I didn't waste my money on Stadia, because whenever things go wrong, if you put money into it, Google will just abandon it and they'll be like, "Oh, you spent money on it? That's so tough."
Yep.
They've done it with the what was that Google thing they try to get everybody to do?
Google
Plus
Glass
or whatever.
Yeah, Google Plus. Yeah.
Well, Glass 2 Plus. You know, I know people who have a Stadia, but I wouldn't get one.
Yeah.
I got some friends that are trying to get me into VR. I don't know how so apparently they're working on like a more, instead of using like controllers and stuff, they're working on a way to make it more
Like the
you using,
Kinect or
like,
something.
No, like you're using like like the Matrix.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
We're getting pretty close. We're actually getting pretty close to that technology. I saw a guy test something where it was like a cap, and he put it on and he can control things with his mind.
The
I don't know how I feel about that.
when
I
I
feel
was a
like I probably
kid,
wouldn't. I wouldn't participate.
when I was a kid, there was this thing that you could like wear, right? It was like this. It was like this toy, and so you had like this headband, and it sensed your brain waves, and you would, and the toy would push the ball up higher depending on your brain waves, and
Hmm.
so you would have to train yourself to be able to know when to think and when not to think, and that was pretty trippy. That sounds like that was like one of the most primitive versions of what they're trying to do, and
Right.
I'm totally down for it, dude. I'm totally down for the transhumanist. Um, I can I plug my brain into the computer. I'm down. Totally fine with it. But dude, VR
I
is
don't know.
cool.
I mean,
Um,
I'm sure it's cool. I don't think I would participate personally.
mhm.
I feel like all right. Once it gets to a point, like let's say, like you ever seen the show Sword Art Online?
No, no, I have
Do
not.
you? Okay, never mind. All right,
Okay.
let's say we get to that Matrix type level.
Mhm.
Like, why would I? You're gonna get a lot of people who are like, why would I ever want to leave? To
Yeah.
just leave to
Just be a
drink
god.
water and eat. I can literally like, well, not even like, but like, let's say a game like Cyberpunk comes out and I can play that on VR, but it's like I'm really experiencing it.
Yeah.
Why would I want to go back to regular reality?
Yeah. Why would you? It's a good question.
Why? Yeah. So I think I wouldn't want to get into that because it would suck.
Couldn't pull yourself
I just
out.
yeah. I feel like they're not really thinking about the psychological effects. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to want to pull themselves out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I mean, they
Yeah,
can
I
do
get
whatever
you.
they
I get
want.
you. Yeah.
I'm just not
Hey,
gonna
that's just
participate.
more opportunities for us here in the real world. More space for us.
Right.
um, dude, like, but VR, like, not even thinking about that far ahead. Like, it's cool. Obviously, you should probably focus on getting a new computer first. But the computer I have is marketed as VR ready. I don't know how true that really is, but I've played some VR games at friends' houses, and it was pretty amazing. Like, there's this one game called Super Hot. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, dude. I played Super Out on Xbox.
Oh, I didn't even. Did you?
You can use the controller to play it.
Oh, I see. That didn't seem like it'd be nearly as cool. But
Nah, it's really fun.
oh, okay. Well, I played Super Hot like with VR, dude, and that was so amazing. I got so into it, and it was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. It
I
was.
can see that.
I was like, yeah. I was like throwing stuff, throwing like the hammer, and then shooting at him. It was. I can't wait to be able to play that again.
Yeah, it probably is gonna be really fun.
All right. Well, I think we can go. Well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the show.
All right.
Let's go ahead and play this outro. What are you doing? Not being subscribed
You're just saying
and
that.
YouTube? Do it now.
Okay.
Give us money.
Doo